Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show today. I'm really glad everybody could join us. So today we've got a special webinar. We're going to run about 90 minutes here, and I'm going to give you all the information you need as we wrap up 2018, get into 2019 of the exact steps, the newest process to be able to get business credit cards for your business EIN number without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. So that is what we will be diving into today. So for those of you that don't know me, my name's Ty Crandall. I'll dive in and tell you a little bit about myself. You might want to take a real quick screenshot of our information in case you have questions along the way. If you are staying till the end, I will make sure that you get a playback to this webinar, as well as if you have any questions, we will address those in the end, and I'll get all the questions answered that I can. But please take down our number, 877-600-2487 and info@creditsuite.com. And we'll get into this as we get to the end of the presentation as well. So let me introduce myself. My name is Ty Crandall. I'm actually about 18 years now I've spent in the financial industry ever since I got out of the military. I have been doing this in the very late 90s. I speak about this topic worldwide. I was just joking with my wife who wanted to do something in February. I said, I will not be here the month of February. I think I have 6 different events I'm doing in the course of 1 month. So I'm all over the place talking about the exact topics that we're going to be diving into today. I'm also the author of 2 of the best-selling books on credit, Perfect Credit and Business Credit Decoded. And I also am seen as a business credit authority, whether it be podcast, radios, TV, Forbes, Entrepreneur Magazine. I'm featured in these places because I'm seen as really the foremost authority in this industry. As a matter of fact, I just had lunch, for example, with Steve Forbes and the CEO and the editor-in-chief Jason of Entrepreneur Magazine. So I have a lot of exposure because I'm seen as an authority talking about these topics. And I also oversee the largest credit partner division in the United States. We have thousands of partners where we do all the servicing for their customers that get business credit and financing. And I don't tell you this to try to brag by any means. I always say I'm a very humble person for those people that know me. I just tell you this because before we spend 90 minutes together, I want you to know that I have the knowledge and experience to dive in and discuss the topics that we're going to talk about. On a personal note, look, there's a lot of fun that I like to do. I live in Tampa, Florida, have 2 amazing kids, and whether we're at Disney or football games or doing all kinds of fun, crazy things, I always try to stay very, very active and try to learn as many new cool things as I can learn. So let's dive into the topics at hand here today. So what we're going to be diving into is we're going to be talking about how you can immediately get business credit that's linked to your EIN, not your social security number. So we're going to be talking about how to get business credit cards, basically with no personal security or credit check, no personal guarantee, no personal credit check. So if that's what you're looking for, you're definitely in the right place. We're going to talk about the exact steps to build business credit. People mess this up. And there are some new changes to some steps that are involved when it comes to getting this credit without your EIN. We're going to talk about all those things, including the new regulations, new changes, how that stuff impacts you. And we're going to talk about how to get business loans and credit lines as time permits. I'll ask your permission if we have extra time, because I know we might even go over 90 minutes here. Then we will dive in and I'll show you exactly how our customers build business credit, and we'll get a chance to dive into business credit loans, credit lines, how to get some of the stuff with no credit check, those type of things as well. So look, most people fail when it comes to building business credit, okay? A lot of people think that for some reason only big businesses can actually build business credit, and that is just absolutely not the case. And today what we're going to do is we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about exactly how you do this without having to use your personal credit report or your personal credit. We're going to talk about how you can get money for your business without going to your bank. So a lot of people don't know the right steps. They mess it up. Then they are convinced it doesn't work. They don't make it to the Visa card. They don't make it to the Amex. We're going to talk about how to do that the right way. A lot of people don't know how to get all types of credit, meaning they go through some training or they think they know. They go in and get vendor credit, which is not what everybody wants, and they never succeed in getting the $20,000 Amazon card. They never succeed in getting the $50,000 Amex card. I'm going to show you, I think, well over 100 real examples today, from business credit reports to real approvals that people have to snapshots of overviews of trade lines they have to show you that this works and to show you how to do it. And also, most people don't know that they can go other places or where to go to get money. A lot of people are still trying to go to their bank, and they're doing this completely out of order, the wrong way. So we're going to dive in, and I'm going to help you overcome those obstacles so you don't fail. So are you in the right place? Well, because we're going to spend 90 minutes together, so let's make sure you are. If you want to know how to get business credit, link to your EIN, not your Social Security number. If you're looking to get the credit without a personal guarantee, if you want to get business credit cards without a personal guarantee, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. If you want business credit cards without a personal credit check, that's what we're going to be diving into. And if you're looking to get the absolute most money for your business at the best terms, then we're going to talk about that as well. Because again, whether you know that or not, your business credit profile and quality will determine how much money you get, amongst many other factors, as we will dive into shortly. So let's start with the basics. What is business credit? Well, business credit is credit that's obtained in a business's name. And with business credit, basically what's happening is your business is building its own credit profile and score for its EIN. So you're familiar with consumer credit. You build a credit profile and score for your social. As you build that credit profile and score, you start getting credit cards, you start getting auto vehicle financing, mortgages, you start qualifying for loans. Business credit's exactly the same thing, but it's for a business. It's for the business's EIN. You're building a credit profile and score for the EIN. The credit profile and score is then used to start getting you credit and auto vehicle financing, and eventually even can help you qualify for loans in the business name without it being attached to you personally. Now, again, as I mentioned, it's based on the business's ability to pay, not you as an individual. So a lot of people ask this, well, how is it even possible to get this kind of credit without a personal guarantee? How can I get these credit cards without a guarantee? How can I get it without a personal credit check? How's that even possible? Well, it's possible because if you think about it, what we're doing is establishing a credit profile and score for your business itself. Then when you go in to start applying for credit, we are refusing to give the credit issuer access to your personal credit. That forces them to make lending decisions based strictly on business credit quality, and we've established the credibility standards. We've established the actual credit profile, the score. We've established all that their computers need to see to then want to give you the approval. And that's really what we're doing today. It's important, as you already know, to understand that approvals for credit cards are not happening manually. They're happening automatically. They're happening by computer. So when we understand the language, the algorithm these computers are using, then we can basically from scratch build exactly what you need to be building on paper, the business, the credit profile, the score, to make sure that you have what's needed to then move forward and start actually building or actually get the credit that you're looking for. Now, I say on paper, but this is not used as some tactic to get a bunch of money that you plan on defaulting on. If that's what you're trying to do, you're on the wrong place. What this is really designed to do is for your business to fund itself. It's as simple as that. What a lot of business owners don't know is they think they have to go to family members, they have to go to friends, they think they have to go get all this extra money from all these other sources, but really your business can fund itself based on the merits of your own business. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today, how to build this where your business is fundable just because you have a business is the basis of you being able to get financing. So business credit, the business will qualify for then high limit revolving credit cards. So this is the goal. We build the foundation, and we're going to talk about it today almost as if it was building a house. So we start with the foundation. We build that first, right? We make that strong. And then we build your credit profile and score to start getting you credit at almost all major retailers. I mean, Office Depot, Home Depot, Sam's Club, Costco, Dell, BP, Walmart. If you look at even Nordstrom, even Macy's offers this kind of business credit. So if Nordstrom and Macy's do, you kind of get the idea that most major retailers offer this. Then we're going to talk about Visa cards. We're going to talk about MasterCards. We're going to talk about the Amex cards. This is the cash credit that most people just fail to get. They just don't understand how to get it. And that's what we're going to talk about today is how you can do this, how you can build this credit profile and score to get there. And then what happens is, of course, you become more lendable. Then it becomes significantly easier to get access to the money that you're trying to get. Look, 89% of business applications are denied at big banks. But here's the thing. Most people have no idea why. And I'm going to tip you in on that shortly as we dive in, because it's not what you think. Even if you meet all their qualifications, you probably will still get denied because of something you're not even taking into account. We're going to talk about all that as well today. So let's take a look at some of these actual approvals to see what's possible. Here's a 7,200 fleet program approval. Here's a $6,000 racetrack, a Dell approval here for looks like 10 grand, Exxon Mobil, a $1,600 approval example here. Here's some vendor credit, a $50,000 Flying J, an Amex card, $4,000 Amazon account, another $17,000 Amazon account, JC Penney's. Here's a $2,600 fleet account, Exxon Mobil approval, $4,000. I like that. Holy crap, I just got approved for $4,000. Thanks, Ty Crandall, for all the advice and help. Thanks for taking it, Jason. Here's another approval for $20,000. Somebody buying computers with their credit, Chevron, Staples approval. It looks like the Chevron was for $4,000 and Amex for $20,000. So look, we're going to go through a ton of approvals, including some I've never shown, many I've never shown, because when I do a webinar like this, I try to go snag a lot of our most recent approvals. And I'm actually, our Facebook group, we see these daily. This is pretty much a daily occurrence. I was in our group today and I saw 7 brand new approvals this afternoon from a lot of different people. So again, a lot of this kind of credit, this kind of gives you the whole gamut of what you're going to get. We looked at vendor credit in some of these approvals. We looked at a bunch of retail credit. We looked at fleet credit, and we've even looked here, as you can see, at cash credit as well. So why do you even want to do this? Why does it make sense? Well, first of all, you need to know, as we talked about, business credit has no impact on personal credit when you do it the right way. And there's a new change that will affect how you're doing this and could cause you to make mistakes, which I'm going to help you avoid, but it has no impact on personal credit. Now, this means a couple different things. First of all, there is no personal credit pull. So your personal credit quality won't determine whether you get approved or not. But business credit's not just about building and getting money when you have bad credit. It also makes a big difference because inquiries on your credit report are a problem when it comes to getting a lot of credit lines. Even one inquiry can cost you $25,000 in funding with some credit lines, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So you need to minimize those. In our world, in the commercial world, inquiries are really bad. You have to avoid inquiries. And I'll give you an idea of that. I went to get a business credit card, and one of the questions I was asked was, why do you have all these authorized user accounts? I didn't even think about it. And then I realized that I don't even have credit cards in my name personally. We do it all in my wife's name. And the reason for that is because we minimize the inquiries. My credit is only to be used for the main things we need: a mortgage, a car, and even my wife's car is in her name with no inquiry, because I don't want the inquiries on my credit. I understand the value of them, and I need to use them to get the credit lines and loans I want to get, which is why I minimize them. You need to know that too. I'm in the space. You don't know that, but now you do. You need to minimize these inquiries. The other problem is that many people try to use consumer credit to fund a business. It's the biggest mistake I see business owners make, because building a business costs much more money than you think it will. And the issue is that credit cards for personal use were never designed to fund a business. The limits aren't high enough. So then what happens is you quickly spend more money on those credit cards than you think. You upset your utilization. That lowers your credit scores. Then you ruin your ability to use your personal credit for loans and credit lines you could easily have gotten even as a startup. And we'll talk about some of that money that's available. So you need to make sure that you avoid personal credit when trying to get business credit, because that leaves the inquiries off your credit quality doesn't affect it. And also you could max out these credit cards and not adversely affect that consumer credit. Not based on consumer credit quality, as we talked about. You can get it with bad credit. There's no personal guarantee as well. So you're not personally liable. That's what this really means. I'm here talking to you today because I made a mistake of building a mortgage company, personally guaranteeing everything. The mortgage crashed, and it pushed me almost to the verge of personal bankruptcy. To give you an idea of 2 real scenarios that happened to me as a result of personally guaranteeing the business credit cards for the business, when we started the default, they got a judgment and cleaned out my personal bank account to pay back the business debt. Money we didn't even have. We had checks written against that, and they cleaned out all the money that we actually had. And that's exactly one of the reasons that drove me to do what I do now, because I personally guaranteed all that debt. The other problem is that a lot of the credit issuers in that world tried to also come after me. And what happened was that when we started to default on our business credit cards, because they reported on our consumer credit reports, then the minute those late payments showed on our consumer credit, then all of our consumer credit card companies lowered our limits to what we owed. Now, this did 2 things. We could have navigated the change in economy fine. We had hundreds of thousands of dollars of available credit. We had planned for that. But what we didn't account for was the fact that all of our available credit overnight would be gone because of a default on a business debt. And then that also ruined our credit scores because our utilization was maxed out. So our ability to recover was ruined because we personally guaranteed things for the business when we didn't have to. This is exactly why I'm talking to you today. I'm just trying to help you avoid the mistakes that I made. So personal guarantees that whenever they can be avoided are something you definitely want to do. Okay, business credit's fast to build. This can be built 10 times faster than consumer credit. And I'm going to show you today how you can get this done in 6 months or less. Okay, that means get to Visa card, MasterCard, auto vehicle financing in 6 months or less. To give you a comparison, in the consumer credit world, FICO requires 6 months to even give you a credit profile and score. Okay, just so you know that. Okay, so again, you need to make sure that you come in and that you're doing this the right way so you can get it done as fast as possible. Also, anybody can see your business credit reports, prospects, competitors, potential buyers of your business, investors. Many business owners are used to consumer credit, where somebody needs your permission to pull your personal credit. Nobody needs your permission in the business world. It's public information. So this isn't just about building a credit profile that'll help you get money. It's your reputation. It's your credibility. This is front facing. Anybody that wants to look into the reputation of your business can see so, it can do so and do so very cheaply, which is why business credit must be built to control the perception others have of your business. It also gives you greater borrowing ability. Look, you can go into Staples and get a credit card today as a consumer, but you can't go into Staples and get a second credit card as a consumer. Business credit's the only legal way you can actually get two types of credit. Okay, CPN numbers and all that. That's all bogus crap. You got to stay away from CPN numbers. That's because a lot of those are stolen Social Security numbers. It's a fake way that people are trying to extort money to get you to basically try to get past having damaged personal credit. It's not legit. The only legitimate way to build two credit profiles, one as an individual, one for your business. So it gives you greater borrowing ability, and it gives you more than double borrowing ability, because per SBA, the limits on these business credit accounts are 10 to 100,000, or excuse me, 10 to 100 times of what you're going to find with consumer credit. So for example, if you're used to getting $1,000 and $2,000 credit card limits, you're getting $10,000, $20,000 plus higher limits in the business world. Now, this is shocking to a lot of people. When I start saying I'm going to help you get $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 limit individual credit cards within 6 months, if you're not skeptical, then there's probably something wrong with you. I would be skeptical too. But if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. We spend well over $100,000 every single month on our American Express card. We pay it off twice weekly. We spend so much money on it. And that's not uncommon for businesses to spend a lot of money on their business credit cards and pay them off regularly. So the limits need to be much higher on these business credit accounts than consumer, because I promise you, we're not spending anywhere near $100,000 on an individual basis at the home, right? So businesses have a greater appetite and need for money, which is why these limits are so much higher, and you can get the limits so much faster. And you're also able to get approved when you can't get a bank loan. As a matter of fact, in order to get financing for a business, a loan or credit line, you either have to have collateral, cash flow, or good credit. Business credit's the only way you can get tons of money for the business without any of those things. So no matter whether you can or can't get a bank loan won't affect you here. Even as a startup, you're able to come in and get approved. Now, you also gives you greater access to loans and credit lines, which means that it's easier to fund your business and grow the business, right? Look, the number 1 and 2 reasons for business failure in the United States, we all know most businesses fail. The reasons for that is 1, lack of access to capital, and 2, it comes down to management mistakes. The bottom line is, as entrepreneurs, we don't know what we're doing at any given time. We figure it out as we go, which is why we love doing what we do. But the problem is that those mistakes catch up to us. And then when we don't have the capital on hand to dig ourselves out, we go out of business. That's the statistics per SBA. So what's nice is that when we can get you money to grow the business, you fix both of the number 2 reasons, both of the 2 biggest reasons that businesses fail. You get capital, which fixes 1, and you have more money in time to make mistakes, which is mistake 2. So the capital avoids and helps you prevent the 2 biggest mistakes that cause businesses to fail. Not to mention that when you have access to money, you have a huge competitive advantage over those that don't. Now, you can get business credit as long as you have a business in the United States, is one of the most commonly asked questions, which is why I now build it into my presentation. It doesn't matter if you live in the United States, you only need a business in the United States in order to actually qualify. Okay, you could build business credit for multiple businesses. Almost all of our clients do. All of our clients, once they get this down and they start getting 100, 200, 300, I'll show you examples, multiple examples today of clients that have secured over $1 million in business credit. Okay, they're creating multiple businesses and doing this for multiple businesses. So this is something you can use for multiple different entities. You can get it even as a nonprofit as well, and you don't have to buy bogus trade lines. You don't have to buy shelf corporations, CPNs. That's all crap you want to stay away from anyways. So we're going to teach you today how to do all of that without spending that money and putting that where it needs to be, which is in your pocket. Now, business credit quality is going to determine three things when it comes to getting loans and credit lines. It's going to determine if you're going to get approved. It's also going to determine how much money you're going to get approved for, and it's going to determine the rates and terms that you're going to pay. Okay, so if you are looking to get money to fund your business, you need to build business credit, because if you don't, then you're going to get shorter terms, higher rates, even if you even get approved, and you're going to be paying substantially higher cost on that money than if you had business credit. And the worst part is that you can be denied financing based on business credit quality even when you have no business credit established. See, this works different in the business world because you'll be issued a failing business credit score just because you have no credit. Now, by the way, I see a lot of people starting to type questions in. I will get to questions in the end. Most of what I'm going to cover today, we're going to cover anyways, the questions that you have during the presentation. And I want to be aware of everyone's time and make sure we get everything in. But I will hang out for probably 30 minutes to an hour after to make sure your questions are answered. Don't want to think that you're neglected. You may even want to hold off on asking questions until we get near the end. And the reason I say that is most questions you may ask will probably cover along the way anyways. And again, don't forget, for those of you that are just getting here, you will get a replay of this if you're staying to the end before the Q&A. I wouldn't expect you to stay for the Q&A because that sometimes goes an hour. But if you stay through this up until the Q&A, we'll get you a presentation too. Okay, so you can be issued a failing business credit score even when you have no credit reporting. And this is very new to us. In the consumer world, you could not even get a credit score unless you have credit reporting for 6 months with FICO. In the business world, the minute the business credit reporting agencies know your business name, address, and SIC code, those three things, the minute they know those three things, a credit profile gets populated for you and you are immediately issued a failing score. This is one of the biggest frantic phone calls that we get constantly. Oh my gosh, I just went in to get a loan. I got denied because my business credit's bad. I didn't even know I had business credit. I have no idea why it's bad. Will you help me? And in a lot of those cases, this is exactly what we see. And I'll show you exactly what we see. We see something like this. When I see this on an Experian, this is real snapshots from a real Experian business credit report. When I see a score of 27, 28, or 29, I know that I'm usually dealing with somebody that has absolutely no credit established whatsoever. Here's that person's financial stability risk score. Just so you know, the financial stability risk score is designed to do one thing and only one thing. It depicts your risk of going bankrupt, out of business, closing your doors, ceasing operations, however you want to call it, within 12 months' time. So you can see here that we've got a business that is extremely high risk of filing bankruptcy. They are a 6. You can see here on 0 to 100, with 6 being the lowest score you can get, they're a 6, about as high risk as you can get. You can see the factors affecting their score: lack of trades. This is their business credit report. There is no credit report. It's all zeros because they don't have any credit established. So here is a common case of a business that existed long enough for the bureaus to know the name, the address, and the actual SIC code, and they populate the credit report with a failing score because the person has no credit. Yeah, this is real. So you are deemed extremely high risk because you have no credit in this world. The expectation is that you build business credit to become a lower risk. But here's the great news. Even one account, which I'm going to show you how to get, you can get during this webinar even, then that will take you from a failing score to a great score and become much more lendable. Here's somebody with a 96 out of 100, about as high as you can go. Financial stability score is about mid-mark here. Okay, and we see here that somebody went on that same credit score right here, about as high, about as low risk as they can get with IntelliScore, and they only have one account, which is a packaging account, which I'm going to show you later how to get this exact same account. And here's what's interesting. They spent less than $100. One account, less than $100, took them, and here's a comparison. You can see how it went from them. They went from that same 28 score, remember, 27 to 29 is what I typically see with people that have no credit, all the way up to 93. Now they're at 96 because they added one account to their credit report. How's this possible? Business credit is based on how you pay your bills. You only need one account reporting to Experian, and if you have one account reporting and you paid it on time or early, that instantly would give you the good score. So here we went from failing to excellent because of one account. Now, what's interesting is you continue to grow the credit, you continue to add more accounts, you continue to get higher and higher approvals on business credit cards and lines, and I'll show you why. What I didn't point out before on this 28 score was this, credit limit recommendation. Experian, Equifax, and Dun & Bradstreet all have exactly the same thing. They have a credit limit recommendation, and it's exactly what it sounds like. The credit limit recommendation, it tells credit issuers and lenders how much money the bureaus recommend that you be lent. So obviously, you and I's goal is to create a credit profile for you with a recommendation as high as possible, because that's what gets you higher limit credit cards and gets you more money with loans. Now, we also looked at this. Remember the 96 score. You see how that one account brought them up to $2,500? No credit, $1,000 recommended, one account, $2,500. Let's watch the climb. Here's somebody with a bad score, 27. They're not paying their bills as agreed, but they're still being recommended for nearly $7,000, $6,900, and they only have two accounts on the credit report. So now we see somebody with 15,600 recommendation of credit, and they have three accounts on the business credit report. Now we see somebody with a 66,000 in recommended in credit, and we see 1, 2, 3, 4 accounts on the business credit reports right here. Then we see somebody with nearly $750,000 recommended in credit. And if you count these, I don't know how many there are. I want to know actually 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so I think there's 13, 14 accounts here. So they have less than 15 accounts and are being recommended for $750,000. There's a few of them, but there's two main factors that determine how much money this recommendation is going to be. One, how many trade lines you have. This is something people will not tell you, but this is the reality. The more trades you have, as you just saw, the higher that recommendation of credit climbs. Secondly, how much of the credit you're actually using. You can see here, credit reports don't show your limit. They only show the amount you're recently using. The reason this company is being recommended for $750,000 is because they're using a lot of credit. They're using very high amounts of credit. So I'll talk to you a little bit more about the importance of that. But again, using the credit building these trades becomes very important. Okay. So it's also important to note that every highly successful business has done this process. So Dell, for example, they have 83 trade lines. These are how many accounts are reporting to them. Here's Apple with 138. Here's Publix in my backyard here in Tampa, Florida at 171. Here's Walmart with 500 trades, okay? 80% of what Walmart sells, they buy on business credit. This is why they're the #1 retailer in the world. So I always use the same example of Bounty paper towels. When Walmart buys Bounty paper towels, they use business credit to do it. They put it on the shelves. You buy the paper towels. They take your money and they use it to pay off the credit. 80% of what they buy is this way. 8 out of 10 items you see in Walmart, they did not pay money for. They bought it on credit and they're using your payments to pay off the credit. It's why they have 513 trades. Here's where things get interesting. Here's Mars Incorporated. They make Mars bars, 22 accounts reported. Here's one of our clients a few months into the process of building business credit with 8 trades. Mars Incorporated has 22. They have 8. They have a third as many as the company that makes Mars bars once they learn the process. Here's one of our clients that had 14 trades less than a year into the process. That's about 70% as many trades as the company that makes Mars bars, okay? So the reason I show you this is because medium to large size businesses get CFOs, they get finance controllers, they get financially savvy people that help them understand what I'm going to teach you today. But this has been kept away from small business owners. And because most small business owners don't have the knowledge we're going to dive into today, they're not able to get access to the credit like the big boys are. But what I'm going to show you today, as you can see here, you can get the same kind of results the big boys get. It's just a matter of understanding this process so you can come in and actually succeed. And by the way, this is the Dee and Thelma's credit reports you just looked at. When you just looked at that snapshot, they own success tax relief. And here's a word from them. We went to our bank to get a business line of credit, and they turned us down. We got started with Credit Suite, set up our business credibly, and built our business credit. After following the steps, we've now secured over 96,000 of business credit cards and just applied for the Platinum Amex and got approved instantly with no limit. Now we have 4 to 5 different companies call us every day trying to give us money, and that's a really good problem to have. We're excited to pick up truck. Okay, they got taken by a marketing company that didn't deliver. They started building their business credit. They then used business credit to get yard signs, marketing flyers, and built a $1 million plus business the first year using business credit. And the reason they got turned down for the loan was one mistake that we helped them correct. And by the way, they were able to turn around and get that loan. And they also own multiple businesses. She co-authored a book with Brian Tracy. Huge success, to give you an idea of what you're in store for when we get into the process. So let's take a look. We've talked about what it is. We've talked about the benefits. We talked about why you probably want to do it. Let's take a look at the actual steps to do this any other way. The problem is, in the business world, a lot of business owners get credit with vendors and think that they're reporting, but none of that credit gets reported. So you have to actively work to build this, and it has to be intentional because it doesn't happen automatically like consumer credit does. However, it can be done easily and quickly and much faster than you build consumer credit if you understand the steps. And we're going to talk about this process, including vendors as well. So if you try to do these steps, we're going to talk about out of order. The simple result is you're just going to get turned down. You can't start at the top with business credit. You've got to start with the foundation first. However, again, we're going to talk to you about these steps so you can take them and actually succeed. And it really starts here, really at the very, it's going to give you a $50,000 Visa card if you don't have a credit profile that supports that you should be given a $50,000 business credit card. We have to build this stable foundation from the ground up in order to get to the end and get the end result that you want to get, the cash credit, the auto vehicle financing. Now, if you don't follow the steps, then the end results, you just basically get denied 100% of the time. So you've got to start and build trade lines that report. This is the vendor credit tier we're going to talk about. Then that gives you a credit profile, that gives you a credit score. And with those two things, then you move on to start getting the credit without the personal guarantee and the credit check you want to get. It's 3 components to this. Trade lines is the reporting of an account to the business credit reporting agency. That's a trade line. It shows on your credit report. The trade lines give you the profile. How you pay those bills determines your score. Now you have a trade line that gives you a profile, that gives you a score, and then we to then move in and actually start building the business credit. But it starts by laying the foundation. So you've got to have a legitimate foundation. You got to be legitimate. You got to be credible to vendors and credit issuers. And here's why I get approved. You know this and I do. Okay, as we talked about earlier, when you go to apply for a credit card, you know the approval's happening right away, so nobody's manually underwriting your application. So what's happening behind the scenes? What's happening behind the scenes is their computer is going through a series of checks that you must meet in order to even be able to get that automated approval. These series of checks have more to do with your credibility, especially in the beginning, than other things like credit quality. Okay, so you've got to have a professional looking website, and email address, for example. So everything that you put on the application becomes of extreme importance, especially when you start building business credit in the beginning, because that's all that we're looking at. So think of it like this. You're applying for credit with vendors. You're not letting them use your personal credit. You have no established business credit. So they have no payment history or track record to go off of. That means the only thing they can go off of is what you've actual application. So that means everything you put on the application becomes very important. You need a professional looking website and email address. Now, the computers will not look at your website, but they will punish you and hold it against you if you leave that field blank and don't have a website. When it comes to getting loans and credit lines, they will look at your website. So you might as well as get it set up the right way from the beginning. You need a professional email address. Stay away from Gmail, stay away from Yahoo, stay away from AOL and all of those. If, for example, our website is creditsuite.com. Our email address is info@creditsuite.com. That's what they want to see. They want to see an at be the extension of your website, not be a Gmail or a personal type of email address. And look, let's be honest. You don't want to use Gmail anyways. It makes you look unprofessional. I can tell you that an SEO company, we just turned away. We met with them, we turned them away in large part because the owner of the company was using a personal Gmail email address. It did not make them look legitimate, and that created other concerns, and they lost an account which would have resulted in hundreds of thousands of dollars to them. So this helps you credibility. You need to have a phone number. It needs to be listed with 411. You cannot do this at 411.com. Later, I will show you how to get the phone number listed with 411. And if you need to have a fax number as well. The idea here is that no item on an application should really be left blank unless it's something that makes sense to be left blank, like an address to field where you don't have a second part to your address. So if it asks for a fax number, you need to put the fax number on there. You also need to make sure that you choose a name that doesn't indicate that you're in a high-risk industry. Later, I'll show you two lists. I'll show you a list of restricted industries, and I'll show you one that it's not going to get you denied, but it's going to be harder for you to get approved. Some industry names will get you automatic denials. Some will make it harder to get approved. We're going to talk about that because if you have a name that indicates you're in a high-risk industry, that can throw up a red flag to these computers. Now, you need a physical or virtual address. You do not want to use a P.O. box. You do not want to use a UPS address. I'll show you later some places you can go to get the virtual addresses, okay? And you can use a home address, but use it as a last resort. Nowadays, the newest thing for 2018-19 is they're now including Google Street Views of your credit report or of your business address on your business credit report. So if a lender or credit issuer pulls that credit report and sees a big picture of your home, you obviously look less legitimate than if you have a picture of an address. So try to get a real physical address. Try to get a virtual address second, home address at last resort, and just know some sources like Walmart will never approve you if you're using a home address. And you should have a business bank account. Now, nobody's going to ask for proof of your bank account when it comes to business credit cards. For loans and credit lines, that may be asked for. But what they are going to ask for is a business bank reference. So if you don't have a business bank account, you wouldn't have a reference. So you need to make sure you have the business bank account and get the contact information from the person at the bank because that's what's going to be asked for is a bank reference. Okay, you also need to make sure you have any necessary licensing, and you also need to make sure that all of your information is congruent. It all has to be the same. It's probably rule number one of importance. If I had to rate the importance of all of these things, congruency is number one. So what I'm saying here is that your bank statement, your license, your Secretary of State filing, all of the information you supply to a lender or credit issuer, it all needs to be exactly the same. You don't want to go establish your business and then change the address and phone number because what happens is all this information gets mismatched and it gets you denied. Earlier, I told you that a lot of business applications are denied. 89% of business loan applications are denied. And I also told you that most of them were denied for reasons that people don't even know. Here's the reason: fraud. The number one concern that lenders are looking at when they look at an application, credit issuers too, is it a real or fraudulent application? They're dealing with overwhelming fraud, sometimes up to 50% or more of applications they touch. So rule number one is they want to avoid fraud. So what happens is what they do is they go to a place called the Small Business Finance Exchange, SBFE. SBFE is owned by lenders. It's a nonprofit. The lenders are members. All lenders contribute their information to the SBFE. The business credit reporting agencies pull data from SBFE and put it on business credit reports. So that's where a lot of the data that comes on your business credit reports come from. But here's the problem. When you apply for a credit card and your business name, your address, the phone number doesn't match what they're pulling in SBFE, what they're pulling in Small Business Finance Exchange, they think it's fraud and they deny the application. We saw this happen with somebody the other day. It wasn't a client, came in on YouTube Live, got denied for a Staples credit card. But what was interesting about his case is they actually told him why he was denied. And what they told him was that his phone number didn't match what he put on the application, what they had, quote unquote, in their records. And he said, where do their records come from? They come from the Small Business Finance Exchange. At some point in time, you supplied a lender or credit issuer a different phone number. They supplied it to SBFE. Staples, in this case, looked at SBFE, cross-checked it against your data. It didn't match. You got denied. So congruency is one of the biggest reasons that we see these applications denied. So you've got to select the business entity as well. Corporation, LLC, okay? The entity will decide what liability you have. The entity will decide the taxes that you pay. So you do not want to do a sole proprietor. You do not want to do a partnership either. The reason is as a sole proprietor or partner, you are the business. So that means if you ever default on the credit, well, then you're still personally liable because you and the business are one and the same. You can get sued. Not an attorney, not legal advice, but that's the reality of what's going on. So you want to choose a corporation, an LLC, instead of a sole proprietor or DBA. If you're going to choose a sole proprietor, at least set up a DBA, because if you don't set up a DBA as a sole proprietor, your business name is the same. Your personal name is the business name. And plus, per the IRS, a sole proprietor has a 1 in 7 chance of an IRS audit. Here's what's crazy. A corporation has a 1 in 50% chance of incorporated, of getting audited. So the bottom line is, like, if you want to avoid getting audited, that's another reason that you want to come in and choose probably a corporation as your entity type. Okay. Now you also next, after you set up the entity, and again, keep in mind what I've done here. First of all, you got to find the business name, make sure it's available, grab the URL, check your Secretary of State. If the business name is available, then get the name, get the address, get the phone number, get all that stuff set up. So when you set up the Secretary of State records, then what happens is you already have all the right information once, so you can use all the information congruently. So I just mapped this out in order. You want to get all of your business information like address and phone set up before you set up the entity. So what you give the Secretary of State is the same information you're using when you apply for applications after the fact. And then what you want to do is you want to get that EIN number. A lot of people think that business credit's built under a DUNS number. We'll talk about DUNS, but business credit's actually linked to your EIN, not your DUNS. Okay, so this is why you have to have an EIN to ever build business credit. Okay, so real business credit, commercial credit without the guarantee. Steady support, get business credit information reported. So you have to kick off the credit report process for your business. You do this by getting your D&B DUNS or DUNS number from D&B, okay? Now they're going to try to charge you $1,500 to $2,000. We'll talk about later how you can get around that, but you've got to get this DUNS number set up, okay? Because that's needed to get a PAYDEX score. There's 2 requirements to get a PAYDEX score, and this is why Dun & Bradstreet charges you money. One is that you have to have a DUNS number. The second is that you have to have 3 accounts reporting to D&B to activate your credit profile. Here's why people fail to build business credit. It's these little nuances. Experian and Equifax will give you a credit report, a failing score with no credit reported. Dun & Bradstreet won't even give you a credit report unless you have 3 accounts reporting and a DUNS number set up. And I can't tell you how many people that angrily respond on YouTube and say, Dun & Bradstreet won't give me my credit profile. Well, it's because you didn't either get a DUNS or get 3 credit accounts reporting. The minute you get those 2, that's what fixes that problem. If there's no DUNS, no 3 credit accounts reporting, no PAYDEX, which is the most common used score in the business credit world. Now, once you're in D&B's system, you also want to check Equifax and Experian as well. Remember, we talked about this. I showed you real examples. You can be issued and will be issued a failing profile and score if you have no credit. How do you know if you have no credit? You've got to go to Equifax and Experian to do a check to see if anything's reported. If you do this the right way, it won't cost you anything to do the check. And I'll show you later how to go about doing that check. Now, if there is a record, if they does show a result, you need to get your credit report, especially if you don't think you have any business credit reporting. So when you do this check with Experian and Equifax, and I'll show you later how to do this, then 1 of 3 results shows up. Nothing, no results found. Your address and name shows up, but it says nothing, there's no trade lines. or your address and name, and there's a little indicator that says trade lines. If your address and name shows up, you need to do a check. You need to search your report, because that either means you have a failing score because you have no trade lines, or you have trade lines reporting that you don't even know what they are. You need to check those with accuracy. And if it's not accurate, you need to then fix those. Okay. So, and I'll show you later how to go about fixing business credit as well. But again, if there's no records, go to the next step. If there is, check that for accuracy. Okay. This way, you know what's being reported. So now, we've set up that foundation, right? We've got the address, we've got the phone number set up, we've got the fax number, the website, the email address. We've made sure it's all congruent. The entity is set up correctly. The EIN number is established with the IRS. We went ahead and got the DUNS number from Dun & Bradstreet. You also might want to get the BIN or the business identification number from Experian. We'll talk about that later as well. So now you've set up that credibility. You've set up what they're going to look at to see if you have a reputation that's worthy of getting vendor credit. Now, let's start getting some approvals. So we're going to start building business credit with what's called trade credit. These are also called trade lines when they're on the credit report, or vendor credit. It goes by a bunch of different names. I call this the vendor credit tier of business credit building. It's referred to by many different terms. They're typically offered like net 30 terms, and these are for things you're buying all the time. Okay, so these trade lines are creditors who will give you initial credit when you have none. Now, there's two very specific things about these credit issuers, these vendors. This is one of them. They give you credit when you have none. They'll give you credit without looking at your personal credit report, without having any established business credit, just based on the credibility facts being in place. They will give you credit. And these are vendors who will give you basic supplies like shipping boxes, outdoor wear, ink and toner, office furniture, printing services, yard signs. I mean, this stuff that you could really use for your business. One of our vendors does SEO. They do graphic design. We've got a vendor that does t-shirts. So again, most of these vendors will offer stuff that you really need and really can use to grow the business. Remember, we looked at the example of the samples. What they did was they used vendor credit to get computers. They used it to get printers. They used it to get yard signs and printing services. Then they used the printing services to print flyers, and the yard signs and the flyers are how they got their first customers. So they used vendor credit to market the business to get the first customer. The first customer and the money they got there then paid for them to continue to build the business, and that's how they got to over $1 million their first year. Now, again, these are usually terms like net 30. So if you're approved for $1,000, okay, then that means you have 30 days to pay that $1,000 back in its entirety. Look, there's revolving credit and there's credit on net terms. Revolving credit's the next step. I'll show you how to get that. But the credit on net terms, if it's net 30, for example, you got 30 days to pay it. So for example, net 30's got to be paid in 30 days. Net 60's got to be paid in 60 days. So unlike with revolving accounts, you have a set period of time to pay this credit back. And to start building a business credit profile the right way, remember, there's two things that these vendors must do. You need to get approved for vendors that actually report the credit to the business credit reporting agencies as the second piece of that. So the first piece, you got to get ones that will give you the credit when you have none. And two, you've got to work with vendors who report, because 97% of trade vendors don't. So 97% of credit that you get from vendors might work for you to use their product and services, but it sure does nothing to help you actually establish business credit. Okay, so everybody says sound. So hopefully, let me know, because I know a lot of people are saying that they are having a sound issue. So I'm trying to make sure my sound is good. But if you are all having audio issues, then let me know if you're still having audio issues or not. So if you don't mind, sound keeps going in and out because there's nothing I could do to fix the sound aspect of this. Let me see if I can somehow fix this real quick, because I'm having an audio issue. So let me see if I can do this, and it might be an internet connection issue. So I've shut down as much as I can. Better now. Okay, so let me know if you continue to have problems. Let me know. Not a lot I can do to fix that, but hopefully it will be good. Okay, yep, sound and installing things. Okay, so to start building business credit profile the right way, you've got to improve with those vendors that do two things. They report the credit, and they will also give you credit when you have no credit, just so you know. So once that's done, you can then use that credit to pay back what you used, and the account is reported to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, right? So we're getting vendor credit. We're getting approved. There's a few steps to this. One, you've got to go find the credit. Then you got to apply and get approved. Then you got to use the credit, but then you have to pay the bill. Remember, business credit scores are based on how you pay the bill. So you've got to make sure that you're paying that bill on time or early. That's the final step. And again, that is what really comes down to getting the best scores, is paying those on time or early. So not every vendor can help like TrueStarter Vendor Credit can. Okay, these are the ones that you've got to get approved with, the ones that report to one of these reporting agencies: Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, and CreditSafe. Who is CreditSafe? This is something new in 2018 and 19 you're starting to hear me talk about. And the reason for the 2018 and 19 is because CreditSafe is very big overseas. They're very big in the UK, and they have their sites over here in the United States. So they are starting to have a presence. Lenders are starting to pull them. Credit issuers are starting to pull them. A lot of lenders and credit issuers are starting to report to them. So CreditSafe is starting to get added, and I'll show you later how we are showing you which sources report to CreditSafe. They're important if you're going to build business credit. You do not want to ignore them. So you got to have 5 to 8 of these accounts to move on to the next step, which is the retail credit tier. You may have to apply more than once to prove you're responsible and pay on time. Some vendors will make you place 2 or 3 orders before they'll actually give you credit. So you've got to make sure that you come in sometimes and apply 2 or 3 times in order for that to actually work. So 3 of the most common are Uline, Quill, and Grainger. Okay, Uline sells shipping supplies. Quill has over 1 million products, including all kinds of office supplies. Grainger's industrial supplies. Okay, I use Grainger for batteries, first aid kits, etc. I'm going to show you a lot more vendors later as time permits. So I think we're going to get into that within 15 minutes, but here are some of the most common ones that are used for this purpose. And we'll talk a little bit more, and I'll show you a bunch more as we go. So here's somebody that used Uline to be able to establish their business credit. Here's somebody that got a net 30 account with this company here. Okay, SupplyWorks. Here's somebody that got a Uline. Here's somebody else that bought their printer with Quill. So here's people using vendor credit to be able to come in and build their initial business. And again, you're seeing computers here. You're seeing printers. You're seeing all kinds of stuff that you would typically need. So the next step, once you have those accounts reporting, is next you need to move on to the retail credit tier. Now, these are companies like Amazon. These are companies like Staples, Office Depot. So these are all these retailers, retail stores. So I call this retail credit tier: Best Buy and Sears and JCPenney. Now, these companies have even more of the goods that you want, but here's the big shift in 2018-19. Now, vendor credit won't even ask for the social except for Gimplers, and Gimplers just leave the social security number blank and you'll be fine. But they will ask for credit here. Amazon will, and Walmart will, and all of them will. But here's a big shift in 2018-19. You used to be able to leave your social security number completely off the application and they would still approve you. But then in May of 2018, the US government released a law which was proposed since 2016. This was already done in 2016, just took till 2018 for it to roll out. That to prevent money laundering, what they said is, look, we can't have people without even knowing who they are coming in here and opening bank accounts, getting bank credit. So the US government now requires these credit issuers to verify who you are. And so there's another step a lot of them have added, to ask for your social and date of birth for verification purposes only. Now, I went in and was looking at a gas card application, and they did it the right way. The normal application, no social. Next page, it said, for verification purposes only per US government, we need your social, date of birth. And they clearly stated, we're only using this for identification purposes. You need to know that when you do not supply the social unless you absolutely have to, if the application requires that you provide it, don't provide it. Call in and do it by phone or do it by fax and leave the social blank. When you talk to them and they say, we need it for verification purposes, say, I will provide you my social and date of birth for verification purposes, but that's only it. That's it. No, nothing else. You do not have permission to actually pull my business credit or to pull my consumer credit, and I am not giving the authority for a personal guarantee. You have to be clear, if they're not clear in the application process, that you are only supplying that information for verification purposes only. On a regular application, never even supply the social. Make them have that conversation with you about verification purposes only, unless they clearly stipulate that there will be no credit pull or personal guarantee. It becomes very, very, very important, okay? Here's why. If you supply your social and that's not clear, guess what they do? They pull your personal credit. Guess what the approval decision is based on? Your personal credit quality. And guess what else is on your credit report? An inquiry. We need to avoid that. So you want to leave a social blank off the apps, which means sometimes you can't fill out online applications. You have to either fax it or call it in. Okay, when they make you do the social field. Amazon has two options. They tell you, you want the no PG route or the PG route. If you want the no personal guarantee route, they don't even ask for the social. Okay, but most credit issuers will ask for the social, leave it blank. That forces them to then tell you by mail that they denied it. You got to talk to them, or they need to talk to you more, or they just call you. And then you basically get on the phone and say, look, I'll give you the information for verification purposes only, but you're not doing a personal credit check. You're not doing a guarantee. It becomes very important in this new process as we get into 2019. So one example is Lowe's of retail credit. They report to D&B, Equifax, and Experian, and they're looking to see a DUNS number. They're looking to see a PAYDEX score of 78. An 80 PAYDEX score means you pay your bills as agreed. So as long as you get credit that reports to D&B and paid as agreed, then you're going to be fine. Okay, so here's some actual real retail credit approvals. $10,000 with Dell. Here's a $14,000 Sam's Club approval. Here's a Home Depot approval, JCPenney for $5,000. Here's an Amazon approval. Here's Lowe's, Exxon. I mean, here's a bunch of different approvals, Staples. Here's one here's one here, Quill, Seton Granger, Staples, Office Depot, Interstate Batteries, Exxon, Shell, Northern Tool, Lowe's, Supply Works. These are all approvals, Amazon. You can see the amounts, $2,000, $4,000, $6,000. Here's a Staples account. Here's a $17,000 Amazon. I already showed that early $50,000 Flying J. So again, this is what retail credit looks like. These are what retail credit cards are. These are kind of approvals, 2 to 10,000 initially. Then you start to get to the 15, 20, 30,000. Okay. So the next credit tier is fleet credit. Now, 8 to 10 accounts reporting, then you move on to fleet credit, BP, Conoco, Wex Fleet. Okay, these are really used to buy fuel, to repair and maintain vehicles. Again, same thing, verification purposes only if you're supplying the social. So here's what I tell people. Look, don't build business credit to build business credit. A lot of people say, okay, Ty, you say I need 5 to 8 accounts, so let me go get 5 to 8 accounts just to get 5 to 8 accounts to move on to the next step. Stop it. You want to get credit you're really going to use and really use the credit. Because when you get credit you're really going to use and you really use the credit, that's what gets those limits higher, as I showed you earlier. If you want higher limits, you need to get the credit and use the credit. So the reason I tell you that is because fleet credit is not for people that are accountants. This is for people that are truck drivers. It's for people that are transportation industry. The type of credit you're going to get depends on what you're doing. I don't have any gas cards, not a one. You know why? I don't need a gas card. I drive like 10 miles to work and we don't have a fleet of vehicles. But we have clients where 90% of the credit they have are fleet cards because they're truckers, they're transportation. They need to get fuel. They need to get repair. I mean, fueling a big rig truck could cost $600 to $1,000. So one example here is Shell. They report to D&B Experian. They want to see a PAYDEX score of 78, 411. And also, we talked about that. They also might want to see a certain amount of time in business if you don't have those things or enough trade lines established. And here's some approvals. Here's a BP approval. Here is a $2,400 Fuelman fleet approval, a Phillips 66 Fuelman, Conoco approval here. Applied for Sunoco Universal Fleet, got approved for $1,000, no personal guarantee. Here is another one with ExxonMobil for $2,000. This is what fleet credit looks like: fuel, repair, maintenance, that kind of stuff. That's what we're looking at here. So the next tier is cash credit, right? So the cash credit tier here is what you get to when you have about 14 accounts reporting. You need 14 accounts to get here. This is Visa, this is MasterCard, this is Amex. Same thing, social for verification purposes only, okay? They're looking for 78 PAYDEX. Now it's 14 trades. I put 10 to 14 usually. But here's the kicker. You have to have one credit card by this point that has a $10,000 limit. Now you might be going, oh man, darn. But don't worry about it. If you've done what I've told you, you already have that. The only reason you wouldn't have $10,000 limit by the first 14 accounts that you have, the only reason would be that you're not getting credit you're actually using. You're just getting credit to get credit and not using the credit. If you get credit you're actually going to use and use it, then the $10,000 limits will organically and naturally happen before you even get 14 trades. Now, by the way, even though I call this the cash credit tier, this is the exact same point where you get auto vehicle financing as well. One of our clients got $160,000 in financing at Ford with no personal guarantee and no personal credit check. And I'll give you a glimpse at some of her credit later. So this is auto vehicle financing as well. You can see an approval here for 22 grand from Chase, Flagstar for 7 grand, 12 grand from Citi, $24,000 for Amex, 22,000 Chase Inc. Here's an approval for 7,000 for Sam's Club. So Sam's is interesting. Sam's has 2 credit cards. One you can use at Sam's, and they also have the other credit card you can use anywhere. Okay, and so does Costco. $6,000 Bank of America approval, $7,300 American Express approval here as well. Okay, here's an American Express for $9,000. So this is what cash credit looks like. These are all cash credit approvals. So you can get an idea of what the Visa card, the MasterCard, the Amex cards look like, the final tier of this process. So, and again, I'm not sure what all this was. So here's one of our clients, Christine, and although the formatting of this is all messed up, I think you'll get the idea. She has now secured $1 million in business credit without a personal guaranteed credit check. Her, like many people, have 2 different businesses she's established. If you go to our YouTube channel, you'll find multiple webinars we've done with her throughout her journey where we've talked with her about her actual progress, and we've looked at all kinds of things, and you can see the escalation of credit. She went from getting vendor credit in the beginning, which I don't even show here, to $2,000 to $5,000 approvals. Then she moves to the $10,000 to $15,000 tier. Then she moves to $20,000 to $40,000. Then it's over. Then it's 75, then it's 100. She got 200 to Flying J. She got 150,000. No, she got 300. It was funny. She got an approval, what she thought was 150, called them. They approved the wrong business. Her business was 300. She got 160 at Ford. So a lot of her approvals aren't even on here. Here's her showing a handful of those credit cards. And she says, for those who say that business credit without a PG is not possible, these are just quote unquote a few of my cards. And you can see her holding up a lot of her cards. And here's just some looks at some of the trade lines she has. These are glimpses into her business credit report. You can see available credit early on in her process of 84,000 here. You can see that she's got all of her trade lines reporting here. Here's another one of her credit reports showing about 80,000 in available credit that she has access to. And she's in the transportation business as well. And last time I checked, she was in the process of buying a 50 truck operation. This is a woman that could not even get any financing or credit to start the business, found building business credit, has now secured $1 million in business credit, has multiple businesses, and is looking at buying one with 50 trucks to have 50 trucks on the road. Here's a $10,000 approval, one of her many. Okay, so I did what I came to do, which is I got done here in about 30 minutes. It looks like right now, if I show you how our clients do this, I might run over 90 minutes. So I'm going to ask for your permission. Okay, I can wrap this up and then we can be done maybe before 90 minutes. Or if you're okay, what I would like to do is show you how the samples, how Christine, how these people actually really did it, not in theory and concept. So if you're okay with that, type in yes into chat. I want to be aware of your time because that's why I'm moving it pretty quick. But I will tell you that there's a possibility I might go 5 or 10 minutes over the 90 minutes if we do that. Okay, cool. I'd like to get permission. So let me give you an idea of a lot of the stuff I told you I would show you later and how our clients are actually doing this. So you just learned the process in theory of exactly how this works. Let me show you how we actually do it. Now, what this is this is called the Business Finance Suite. This is our system to do a bunch of things, right? Our clients come through here and get financing, and we'll talk about how to get financing. They also offer business credit and financing as a service, and they also build business credit, as you can see right here. So let me open up because I just now realized I didn't have something else open, which I'll open. So this is the step to build business credit. Now, remember, this looks like an overview of what we have already talked about at this point in time, right? So we see that we establish that business credibility and we move through these steps. So let me walk through the steps to actually show you what this really looks like. Okay, so we start right here with credibility. And remember, we talked about all these kind of things, even including your actual business name. And we talked about the importance of that. Well, you can see here our finance suite. First of all, it's available in English and Spanish. So if Spanish is your native language, you can come here and change to Espanol. And this changes, you saw instantly all of the text change from Spanish to English. So it's really easy to navigate in your native language. You can see it's very little text, it's video, and the videos are very short, 3-4 minute videos that tell you everything that you need to know. Okay, you'll learn we're all about one thing: speed. Speed, 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 speed. all that we do is focus on how fast can you get through this process and get the result, which is why we remove any of the clutter and the wording and all that stuff and only give you the stuff that you need to know. So for example, you're going to set up a business name. I promised I would show you this. So this is the restricted industry list. So these are restricted industry: ammunition, bail bonds, gaming, loans. You can take all the pictures you want because this changes regularly. This list constantly changes. Sometimes we change this daily. High risk industries, mobile manufacturing, home sales, dry cleaners. So again, when you're setting up the business name, you need to access your Secretary of State. You need to find those restricted industries. It becomes very important. So that's the first thing that we're doing here. Now, again, we talked about that business address as well. It becomes very important that you set up the actual business address through physically or virtually. So we give you sources down here if you need resources where you can come in and actually get access to the companies that offer it. Da Vinci, Alliance, Regis, to set up that actual business address. You've got to have that address set up. We help you with the setup of the entity. Now, just so you know, if you happen to work with us, our advisors do all this. Okay, no, excuse me. I completely messed up, and that is not at all what I meant to actually say. Nobody can do this for you because nobody can apply for credit on your behalf. But our advisors work hand in hand with you to go through this process. Concierge service, where they'll spend an hour with you on the phone if you need to be to go through it, because this is where a lot of people get stuck. So you've got to set up that address. You've got to set up that entity. You've got to set up the business phone number and the fax number. Now, remember, I told you you've got to set up the phone number with 411, but you can't go to 411.com to do it. Here's why. 411 is not 411.com. You need to know that. The second thing, the reason credit issuers look at 411 is because you can't fake it. The way you get listed with 411 is you organically get picked up by 411, right? That's what happens. So what happens is eventually 411 sees you on Google, they see you online, and they populate a record for you, and then credit issuers see that and know you're legitimate, they know you're established. Now, what we do is if you say, yes, you want it set up for you, we do it for you, and here's how we do it. We use a service called List Yourself. For the service level that we get, it's $30 a month with List Yourself. They have a free service too. It's just sketchy. So the paid service is what you want, $30 a month, $360 a year. But then that helps you not organically wait to get picked up. Remember, speed, fast, fast, fast. How do we do this as quickly as possible? We don't have time to wait months for our business to get listed with 411. We skip the process by listing it for you because it expedites it. Okay, setting up your website and email, your EIN, your license, your bank account, even setting up a merchant account. All those things are things that we're doing in step one to help you build that business credibility. It becomes very important. Remember, that's the foundational stuff that we talked about that's important, especially as you start applying for initial credit. The next thing you want to do is get set up with the reporting agencies. Remember, that's the next thing that we talked about. We talked about getting set up here with Experian. We talked about getting set up with Dun & Bradstreet. We talked about getting set up here with Experian, okay? So in this step, what we're basically doing is we're helping you come in and establish business credit and getting set up with all of the actual reporting agencies. We're helping you build credit with Experian, with Dun & Bradstreet, and we're also helping you come in and build business credit with, I think I already said Experian. Now, the other thing that we're helping you do in this step is we're also helping you fix inaccuracies if you have derogatory items on the business credit reports. Now, if you're not using our finance suite and our team to do this, you need to go directly to the credit bureaus. Dun & Bradstreet has a service called iUpdate. They'll do this for you. And Experian and Equifax, you have to get their credit monitoring to do that. Through our system, you want to set up your DUNS, you click set up your DUNS, we take you right to Dun & Bradstreet and do it without the charge. You can get the DUNS number without paying for it, but DMB is going to try to charge you $1,500 to $2,000 to get your DUNS number and activate your credit profile. I'll show you in the next step how we activate your credit profile, how that gets done, how you can do it with us and without us. Okay, so in this step, we're coming in and we're building initial business credit with Experian, Dun & Bradstreet, and Equifax. That includes getting your DUNS number. It also includes getting your BIN number with Experian, okay? Experian, you need to make sure that you get your BIN number, which is the same equivalent of the DUNS number, but it's for Experian. Remember, we talked about this. So this is how you go through and get that set up directly with the reporting agencies. Now, you also need to know about fixing inaccuracies on your business credit report. And we help you with all aspects of doing that as well. And you can come right here to just simply update your business credit reports, and we help you quickly fix any inaccuracies as well. If you're not using us, go to Experian or Equifax directly, credit monitoring, or or use iUpdate to do that to get it done. Okay, now it's not the easiest of processes, but let me tell you, one of our clients went through this. He had one item on his business credit report, okay, that was negative. He got it removed. He turned around and got a $350,000 SBA loan. He's an established business. He had tax returns. Okay, his business credit's established. I'm just saying that the one derogatory item prevented him from getting the equivalent of a $350,000 loan. When that one item was removed, he got it. So fixing inaccurate items on your business credit report become extremely important. Okay, now beyond that, then you also need to take the next step of building vendor credit, right? This is when you're getting the 5 to 8 accounts, which will start building your business credit profile and score. This is where you start coming in and getting vendors for all different kinds of things, okay, that you can get vendors for. Now, some of these are secure credit cards like Wells Fargo, as you can see here, and some of them will let you accept payments from customers like Behalf. Some of them will actually come in here, as you can see, which are Quill. And we talked a little bit about Quill and the process within Quill was one of the ones that we actually spoke about as well. Now, what's interesting in what we do, and I need to be completely straight with you on where your problems are going to be. I told you I would tell you how to build business credit in less than 6 months. Let me also tell you how to build business credit in 2 years. The problem where people fail is right here on the screen you're seeing. You need to know the approval requirements for each source, or if you don't, then you have to go through trial and error. So as you can see, we actually have a whole research department that works with underwriters to describe what the company sells, who they report to, and the exact criteria to get approved, even the backlink that they have to get approved. Here's why this matters. If you know, think about it. It's like being given a test that's an open book test. If you know what the answers are before you as you're taking the test, it's much easier, right? Same thing here. If you know what the credit issuer is looking for, you meet the criteria before you apply. But if you're doing this on your own and you don't know the underwriting criteria for every source, you don't know what the rules are, so you have to apply. Maybe they needed 5 trade lines. Maybe they needed 8. So if you apply and get denied, you don't know that. The only thing you can do is come back at a later point and apply to get approved. It's just trial and error. And I'm telling you this because I don't want you to get frustrated and say, well, Ty said with 5 or 8 accounts, I can start getting approved. You can start to get approved. But Staples maybe wants 10 accounts. Amazon wants 5. So at 5, you can start to get retail credit, but their criteria changes all the time. And like I said, we're all about fast. So one of the ways we make sure you get fast results is coming in and listing the underwriting guidelines so you know you can get approved before you apply. Based on what you have established in business credit, we gray out accounts you can't get and put the ones here in orange, I think it's orange, I'm colorblind, that you can actually get. We also come in here and we actually tell you how many accounts you're going to need in each step to move to the next step. Now, we have a lot of vendors that you're never going to see anywhere else online, and the reason for that is we create them. We work with vendors and help them report. We are like, heck with this. We're done trying to find vendors that report. Let's find vendors that offer awesome products and services, and let's help them report so our clients can get SEO and graphic design and website creation, and they can get phone services, and they can get t-shirts, and they can get all these things they're really going to need, which is why you have the largest selection here of actually accounts to start building the business credit, the vendors. Now we've got to start monitoring business credit. Okay, and this is going to cost a little bit of money, and I'm going to show you later how we can get you around that cost. But Dun & Bradstreet's $150 a month. That's how much they charge for the credit monitoring. You can go right here to their website and see that it's $149 a month, right here, $149 a month for credit monitoring. Okay, Experian is $50 a month. It's $200. Now, if you come right over here to report dashboard, then what you have the ability to do is actually access this integration, which is our NAV integration. And through this, you can get Experian and Dun & Bradstreet credit reports and save 90%. So our clients are paying $24 a month for both at NAV for both Dun & Bradstreet and Experian. We are about to add Credit Safe. And we also just got a relationship with the credit bureau that actually what they do is they actually take accounts you already have, including utilities, and they report it to Experian and Credit Safe for you. This is groundbreaking. It's never been done before. Okay, we're in a beta test right now. Our clients are the first clients in the world to ever even test this, where they're able to take utility accounts, cell phone accounts, water bill, electric bill, a satellite TV, and add those to Experian and Credit Safe as well. So those are the type of things that's not available right now. It's beta. We're getting ready to roll out the addition of items to your business credit reports, but our clients do get access to, as you can see here, the full Dun & Bradstreet credit report, business information, summary data, tax liens, lawsuits. You can see here the actual accounts that are on the business credit report are right here as well. Public filings are right here, and you get it from Dun & Bradstreet and Experian. Again, we're all about fast, 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 and we found that our clients weren't paying $200 a month for credit monitoring because they didn't want to. So we went ahead and got it knocked down to 24 bucks so you don't have to pay that hefty charge and can still access your business credit reports. Now, once you've monitored and seen these 5 accounts or so report, then you start getting to the real good stuff. This is when you start getting to the actual revolving credit. This is the regular retail credit. Now, I grade some of these out for a reason. They're grayed out because you don't have what it takes to qualify. See how simple it is? If you only know the ones that you qualify for, you can easily come in and get approved without applying for ones that you don't know and then getting denied. The other thing is that I told you 5 to 8 accounts is what you need. That's not necessarily accurate. What you need is 5 to 8 payment experiences. A payment experience is the reporting of a credit item to a business credit reporting agency. So EFS here, well, let's go down here. Quick Check reports to D&B. Ryder reports to D&B. Wawa reports to D&B and Experian. Why do you need to know that? Wawa is 2 payment experiences, and Ryder and Quick Check are 1. So since we're all about speed, 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 how do we build this as quickly as possible? We want you to see the ones that give you a jump start, because if you need 8 accounts to move to the next step, then by getting this 1 account, you get 2 accounts for 1. You get 2 payment experiences. But again, if you're doing this on your own, you have to be aware of that. You're going to need more accounts to move forward, because you are not going to know where every single one of these accounts report to. You're not going to know that Meyer only reports to D&B, but a D&B and Experian or 7-Eleven. But you can see the kind of credit that you're getting. And again, with every single one of these sources, we list who they report to, the underwriting guidelines, the special backlink that you have to use to get approved. All that information is right here. So it makes it super simple for you to only ever go for the credit you actually know you can get. Lowe's, Staples, Macy's, Budget. So as you can see, almost all major retailers in fuel are available as you proceed through the steps and continue to get more credit. And as you get 6 trades, you can get these. And then as you move on, and then you can get 8 or 10 trades, and then that helps you get access to all of these type of accounts. And you can get Shell and Office Depot and Tractor Supply and Walmart and Lowe's and Sears. And I mean, almost every major retailer you could possibly want to get credit with is all right here. And you could just basically go through the actual steps to make sure you have enough trade lines to get every one of the accounts that you want to get, even to the point where you're getting the Visa cards, the MasterCards, the Amex, the cash credit, the auto vehicle financing. All of this is here without the personal guarantee. All of this is here without the personal credit check. So again, the idea here is that you can come in and be able to access all the credit that you really need to actually access business credit. Now, again, you can see here we have personal guarantee, and I'm going to show you that in a second. These are all ones that don't report. Why would you want them? Because it's Costco. If you buy a bunch of stuff with Costco, you probably want to get with credit with Costco, even if they don't report it to the business credit reporting agencies, okay? PayPal credit, we help you get financing through here. Your cell phones, Apple, it's all available. Even though Apple doesn't report, they're still notorious for giving you very high-level accounts, okay? Best Buy. And then we even put some ones here that you can get sometimes without a credit check, but you still need to provide a personal guarantee for some of these accounts. And you can see Howard Bank, we can see these are some cash credit, even more. And the reason for this, and look at how long this is, I want to show you guys this. So a lot of the stuff you can get with no credit check. These report, look, they report to D&B, Equifax, Experian, or Circle K, Irvine Oil. Okay, so here, look at how big this list is. And there's a lot of these on these lists, and I'm not scrolling down to the bottom of any of these, but you can see all of this credit that's available. Okay, so again, some of this you can get without the credit check with a guarantee, but the reason we're still telling you about it is because these accounts help you build business credit at the same time. You may choose to provide a personal guarantee or a credit check, but all this is available. And again, I don't really ran out of time here, but you can also come in and get all access to financing as well. We work with over 1,000 lenders, every type of business financing. So you can get unsecured financing as a startup. If you have good credit, we can get you credit lines up to 150 grand that build business credit. Even if you're 3 to 6 months in business, we can help you get, and you have some revenue, we can help you get financing based on the revenue. We can help you get financing for equipment. We can help you use collateral and 401ks and securities of you or somebody else, or account receivables or purchase orders, or help access private equity money. We're building a relationship right now with the oldest angel investing network, and they're getting embedded in here as well. So angel investing will soon be available as well. You have access to your own finance officers, your own processing team for finance deals. You never pay us a fee on financing. We do all that for you and get you a discount off what the lenders and credit issuers even charge. So this helps you access all types of financing as well. And then, of course, if you're ever interested in offering business credit and financing as a service, then you get paid financing, you get made commissions on the back end. Our partners average about $2,000 on every sale. You actually get a step-by-step process here to go through and offer business credit as a service. For a lot of our clients are loan brokers and people that are accountants and attorneys, where we walk you through step-by-step the process of actually offering business credit and financing as a service. And then on top of that, we have every resource you could possibly think about, from ebooks to your own website, to free guides, reports, articles, flyers, and I'll show you some of that later, to actually offer that as a service. But everybody's not interested, and I don't want to spend a bunch of time in that. So let me kind of get this wrapped up. Here's one of our clients, Marlon. I was looking for a fast way to get money to grow my consumer credit business. After failing to get approved for loans to several banks, I discovered Credit Suite. After getting initial accounts, I continued applying and getting all types of credit and have over 100 business credit cards in my wallets, totaling over $1 million in available credit. I have fleet credit that I use for auto repairs and fuels. I have cash credit with most major banks, including Bank of America, Wells Fargo. I secured almost all this without a personal credit check, without a personal guarantee, and I've been able to get loans with many sources, including PayPal, Cabbage, with low rates and loan amounts over $100,000. So at this, this is kind of an idea of what is possible for you once you actually build business credit. So look, you're watching this because you're probably looking for the fastest way and the easiest way to get money to grow. And more than likely, you probably struggled to get access to the money that you need. So look, you got a couple options here. You now know exactly how to do this. And we do find that if you're doing this on their own, it'll take you about 18 to 24 months, because you don't know who the credit reports to. You don't know the underwriting guidelines. You're going to run into a lot of problems along the way. Okay. But if you're thinking about it, I'll show you a way here, if you hang out with me for a few, to actually save money, to make it cheaper to build your business credit, and actually have us help you through this process as well. Now, what we basically do is this: we're helping you get the business credit for your EIN that's not linked to your social security number, through the top selling system. We've helped about 15,000 people now build business credit over the last few years. To give you an idea of how credible we are, we've never had an online complaint from a client ever. You can look, we got an A+ BBB, no complaints online from clients. And the reason for that is that we're very good at what we do, period. Okay. And that's why it is the top selling, because it works so well. You're also getting access to funding for your business. Bottom line is, you don't have to worry about money anymore. There's 3 things we do. We improve your fundability. We do the things that you don't know need to be done to make you more fundable. We help you build business credit. We help you with all aspects of getting loans and credit lines. We do it in English and Spanish. You have access to the cutting edge technology, which gives you those credibility requirements. So you know what that business name to set up, the entity, the EIN, you know how to set up the address. You get your phone number listed with 411 without paying the $360 a year, the website, the email, the licensing, the compliance, the merchant account. To give you guys an idea of how much we do this, we've partnered with LexisNexis to get the data from the Small Business Finance Exchange. And later this year, our clients will have access to a fundability score that will compare their data that they're putting on an application against what's in the Small Business Finance Exchange from LexisNexis. And then that will actually tell you the discrepancy so you can fix it. So we're really big on making sure that you meet the requirements that they're looking at to get approved. We help you get set up with all 3 reporting agencies. By the way, we now help you get set up with Credit Safe as well. And when you work with us, and you enroll, all of your payments are reported as trade lines to Credit Safe as well. Credit Safe is so important that we insisted on building your trade lines if you don't have any. So we go ahead and take all of your payments and report them to Credit Safe as well. And you can get access to business credit reports get the free DUNS number. We help you get set up with D&B, activate your credit profile with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. So it saves you that $1,500. Plus, we help you fix the inaccuracies. I mean, when we have clients that turn around and get $350,000 loans because the derogatory item is fixed, it's worth it for it being that a major component of what we're doing to help you. We have the largest supply of vendors, and these are vendors you're actually going to want and use because, again, we help create them. These are ones you're not going to find in forums, even in our Facebook groups. They do SEO, they do website building, they do phone services, everything in between. Okay, massive selection of revolving store credit. You saw how much credit was available. Fleet credit, cash credit, auto vehicle financing, all of it without a personal guarantee and credit check. We even give you even more options with a personal guarantee if you want to provide it so you know what's available and what's not. We give you cash credit financing, so if you have any revenue, you can get financing based on that. We have collateral or asset-based financing with rates under 2%, up to 150 grand as a startup. Again, this doesn't mean you're just going to get it because you work with us. You have to have cash flow credit or collateral to be able to qualify here. Private money, alternative SBA, venture capital sources. We are one of the only sources you're going to find. There's only about 3 of us companies in the country that offer every legitimate funding program through over 1,000 lenders. What we do is we get you all the financing you can get now. We build a business blueprint. We tell you what we need you, what to work on to graduate to the next step. And our goal is to graduate every client to an SBA loan, the coveted SBA loans. We help you get money through the stages and understand what SBA needs to see and what the lenders need to see in the stages to be able to get to the SBA loan. We get you the initial financing. Then our next stage is to get you to term loans and lines of credit, longer term loans, lines of credit. Then the final stage is SBA. So we graduate you through this process to help you get to the SBA loans. Okay, term loans, lines of credit are all available as well. If you're coming in as a partner, we're giving you everything you need. It's kind of like a franchise or a business in a box without paying a hefty franchise fee. PowerPoints, ebooks, a year's worth of email content, social media posts, webinars, videos. We basically put you in the business of offering business. We help do your selling for you. If you don't even want to sell, we do the selling for you, and you can still earn $750 to $1,200 if you want to go through with you. If you look online, our top package is over 7,000, 7176. What I'm going to show you is only valid through this Friday as part of this webinar. And if you get started now, we've got 2 options. Option 1, you get business credit and financing. It's called our core program. 7 payments of $497, 1 payment of $24.97. If you option 2 is you get that and you offer business credit financing as a service, 7 payments of $597, and and you can get 1 payment of only $34.97. Now, 2 things. First of all, if these payments are too high, no worries. Get in touch with us. I'm going to give you our customized payment plan out for you. We will work with you to make sure it's affordable. We even have pricing and options that are not on our website. So absolutely never, under any condition, if this makes sense and you'd like to work with us, do not talk to us because of money, because we have all different kind of options. We work with Fundbox Pay. We can help you get loans to even pay for your enrollment. We have packages that aren't even on our website. So we've got a bunch of different options. And by the way, if you're looking at, for example, our core program, that's a 20% discount. And why that's a big deal is because we don't discount. We only do about 2 or 3 sales a year because we're the only ones with any system like this. This is the only step step-by-step business credit building system out there, only system that has about 2 years to do this on your own. And the reason is you're going to have a lot of questions you're just not going to know. What happens when you don't get your DUNS number? What happens when something doesn't report? How many accounts do you need to get a Sam's Club? There's going to be a million questions along the way. So we're going to save you that time. And you got to ask yourself, if we save growing the business, and the reality is that we save you money as well. We save you $2,200 a year on credit monitoring, so it's only $300 a year from us. Through the bureaus, it's $2,500. Okay. We also give you business valuations, which I actually didn't get a chance to show you, but business valuations at any time, you can actually come in and see how much your business is actually worth. And ongoing, you can come in and figure out exactly what your business is worth. So as you grow the business, is ultimately it will tell us exactly what the business estimate is worth. And this is through Biz Equity. So we partner through them. So at any given time, you can evaluate and get a valuation for your business. And you can see here that as we change numbers, this estimate here this estimate here changes. So you can get business valuations. So instead of paying all the money for that, that's free. We set up your 411. So ultimately, if you look at what we're saving in credit monitoring a year, it's $2,200. You don't have to pay Dun & Bradstreet any money. You don't have to come in and spend money on 411 to 360 a year. You don't have to pay for valuation. So it's actually cheaper to work with us to do this on your own as well. And don't forget, we'll customize a payment plan to make sure that it makes sense for you. And on top of that, we also will work with places like Fundbox Pay. So that way you can make it even easier. They'll pay payments over 12 months. So it makes it even cheaper for you to get going as well. So it makes it as simple as possible and risk-free, and we're big on risk-free. So you get everything when you make your first payment. If you're making the first payment, you get immediate access. You can use it on mobile, so it's mobile friendly. Our advisors will talk to you. You're going to get an initial call here. I'm going to give you a bonus with our advisors. They'll call you 5 times the first 5 days. Let me be clear. This isn't customer service. You can chat with us. You can call us. You can email us. But we also reach out to you preemptively. That's what makes it work. We tried doing this without putting advisors in there. Everybody failed. So what we realized, and this is why we're so successful in a space that nobody else is really succeeding, because companies are out there offering very cheap services with no help through the process, and then everybody fails. We realize that, and that's why we have these business advisors that will work you through the entire process. So again, you make the first payment, we give you access to everything. We're that sure you're going to love it. And again, if you go to creditsuite.com/webinar, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is go to core, which is to build business credit and financing, or VIP. The bonuses are here. The buy it now. You click buy it now. You're going to have multiple options, multiple payment options, and a one pay option with the discount, including that 20% savings here you can see on core. You just select the option you want, enter your information, and you complete it. It's really that simple. And I also wanted to throw in these bonuses. A 30-minute initial coaching call with our expert advising team. The very first call, they're going to call you. If you enrolled tonight, they call you in the morning. Call you next day. We'll spend 30 minutes to 60 minutes. We'll spend an hour with you on the phone if you want to help you get set up. Our goal on that first call is to get you through step 1 and 2 and to start getting you vendor credit on the first call. But you might have to set up some credibility points first. That's what we figure out. We're getting you that credit monitoring for only $24, which saves you $2,200 a year. We're getting you a free business valuation. It's not that you can look at your business to see how much it's worth at any time. This is an actual 28-page report that says exactly what your business is worth, compares you to others in your industry, and gives you advice of what to change for it to be worth more. And I'm also giving you a ready-to-publish book on business credit. That's my book. I'm giving it to you because if you are in the business of anything to do, especially with financial services, it just gives you a lot of credibility when you're a published author. So I'm giving you the ability to become an immediate published author overnight, which helps you grow the business tremendously. And we're giving you an unconditional guarantee. If you get started but don't feel what you receive is worth every penny of what you paid, or that you'll be able to make your money back, we give you 100% of your money back. Don't think we'll do it. I don't blame you. But again, you don't get 15,000 people helped and no online customer complaints when you don't get people their money back when they're unhappy. This is real simple. This is a process. You're either committed to the process and we will help you succeed faster than anybody else succeeds in this business credit space, or you're not committed to the process. And in that case, we'll give you the money back because we only want to work with people that are serious about getting the money that they want to grow the business. If that's not you, we give you the money back. It's why we have no online complaints, because we do exactly what we say we're going to do. And if you're unhappy, here's your money back. Take your money back. Okay, but you've already seen what we have. You've already seen a look through this. But if that happens, then that way you're protected with an unconditional guarantee. So to recap, you're getting the Finance Suite 24/7 access, concierge service with our business advising team, free DUNS number, credit file activation, saves you that money from D&B. We're also getting you the largest supply of starter vendors, massive selection of revolving store credit as well. You're accessing all the financing, the unsecured financing, finance officer support, free 411 listing, which saves you $360 a year. Hard to find cash credit sources. You saw we had a ton of those available. We help you fix and dispute inaccuracies now with all 4, including Credit Safe. We help you get fleet credit, auto vehicle financing without the personal guarantee credit check, credit monitoring, which saves you $2,200 a year. It's normally $2,500. It's less than $300. Cash flow financing, collateral financing as well. I'm also going to throw in here the stuff that's upcoming. If you're a client in the next year, you're going to get access to the LexisNexis data. You're going to get access to the fundability score, which is going to be available for all of our clients. The advanced credit monitoring is going to become available. We're going to start our beta on that next week, where you're able to add items to Experience Credit Report. That, instead of $24, is going to be $99 a month if you decided to do that. But then you get Credit Safe, Experian, and Dun & Bradstreet, as well as adding accounts to Experian and to Credit Safe. That's only in beta right now. So we'll be releasing that to our clients too. So those are the type of things that are still to come. So I told you I would spend time to answer questions, and here we are. And look at that. Boom. I said I would be 5 to 10 minutes behind, and I am 5 minutes behind, over 90 minutes. So that's exactly what I expected. And I'm now going to hang out. If you hung out with me so far, thank you very, 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 very much. And I will send you a playback as soon as tomorrow of the webinar. And I'm going to hang for 30, 60 minutes to make sure that any questions anybody has is answered. My goal is to make sure that you do one of 2 things. One, you have everything you need to do this on your own if you want. It's a slower process and it'll cost you more money, but you at least now know the basics of this. Or we've given you the information to work with us at, if a core program, for example, a 20% discount, which we don't do, but 2-3 times a year. And you also got some really cool bonuses as well. So I think hopefully I've made it worth your while to get started and work with us. But either way, my goal is that you leave here with a bunch of information that you didn't have when you got here. So enough about all that. Let's go to the top of the Q&A here. How do I get there? Okay, so let me go through and make sure that I can get these questions answered. If you have over 20 trades and 2 accounts already issued by one bank, strong Paydex but average Experian, chance of approval, your chance of approval is great if you're not applying at that same bank. That bank is probably, a lot of banks only have 1 or 2 real no PG credit card. So if that's what you're asking, your chances of approval are good with that one credit issuer. I'm not sure. But more than likely, they don't have more than 2 no PG cards. So does it take about 6 months following your program? For us, it does, and here's why. You need to get vendor accounts reported first. Those take 30 to 90 days. We help you access the ones that only take 30 days. So we average and double that and say it could take you 60 days for those to report. That's 2 months. Then you get to retail credit. We're averaging it could take you 2 months for those accounts to get reported. That's 4 months. And then you start getting the cash credit and you get to the final tier, which takes about 2 months for those to report, which is 6 months. So we say it takes you 4 to 6 months because that's 3 rounds of credit ultimately. You're really getting vendor, you're getting retail credit, which could include fleet credit, depending on if you're in that industry or not where you need it. And then we move you to cash credit. Now, if you're doing it on your own, the problem is you don't know how many accounts you need to get Staples versus Apple. So you're going to apply for Staples, not have enough get denied, then go to Office Depot, get denied, then go to like somewhere else and get approved. Then you go somewhere else and get denied, somewhere else to get denied, somewhere else to get approved. And then eventually you circle back to Staples and try again and you get denied. Then you get more credit and then you go back to Staples and eventually get approved. It's trial and error. And it's going to take you a lot longer because you're going to have to get a lot more accounts because you don't know where all these accounts report. That's where it takes the time that we typically see, just so you know that. Okay. How can I get unmuted? That's awesome. I love that question. What did you have to say to everybody on the webinar? Where do you find out where your score is? You can do that. I kind of talked to you about how we do that for our clients as well. You can also go directly to Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax and CreditSafe. Each one of them will give you your credit scores as well. I've just gotten 3 vendor accounts, 1 for 2 and 2 at 1K. Congratulations, in less than a week with no PG. Cedric, I'm very proud of you, man. Congratulations, you're well on your way. That's awesome. And remember, the vendor credit, the hardest part of this is you get to the next stage. So just expect that to come. The retail credit and knowing the order to apply is what you really want to be aware for and watch out for. To find a trade line, we did go through that. And again, we talked a little bit about the sound, but we got that back. I had internet issues. Can I go to recording later on this live? Yeah, and we talked about that as well. You can if you stayed through the end. Does Amazon report? Amazon does report. And they do report to the Business Credit Reporting Agency. I know they report to D&B, but I think last time I checked, they report to Equifax and Experian as well. That was in the finance suite. If I have a chance, I'll look at that in a minute. Why would they not use your social security number or date of birth too? Again, the commercial credit world has never needed either of those to issue business credit. And what we've seen, and we were pretty nervous when this changed in May, but what we realized was that credit issuers did the right thing. They didn't use the social and date of birth to make you get a personal guarantee. They only used it for verification purposes. So hopefully that answers that question for you there. Okay, so a lot of yeses here. Okay, I'm okay with, and I'm quite okay. What are the monthly fees to get our first cash credit or vendor credit? We did talk about that as well. If an application states your social will be used for verification purposes only, should the social shield be admitted? No, if they're telling you that the social is only for verification, give it to them, because that means that you're not giving them the authority to pull your personal credit or attach a personal guarantee. So you should be good there. Okay, this is a great tool. Okay, again, lost sound. Okay, so hopefully that came back. I know that we cut in and out a little. There's been a lot of skips. I know there is, guys. And the reason is because I'm working from my home office, and for some reason today, I'm having some kind of weird internet issues, and I don't know exactly what caused that, okay? Can nonprofits get SBA loans? You can get a loan, but you're going to have to attach a personal guarantee, and you're going to have to supply tax returns that show a profit. What I just described for you is pretty common with all kinds of financing with business. If you're looking to get business financing, the reality is you're going to have to attach a personal guarantee. You have very well established business credit, and you're going to have to show tax returns with a profit as a nonprofit. Now, a nonprofit can build business credit exactly the same, just so you know. Are any of these steps different? None of the steps are different for nonprofits as well. It's exactly the same. And if you, and we just gave you the discount as well, which is applicable for nonprofits. If you want to talk more about that, let me know. Greg Tyson, man, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. And my business is a construction business. Will this work for? Yes, it will work for any industry. As a matter of fact, you saw there's a lot of credit with Labor Ready, with Lowe's, with Home Depot, with industrial supply, with all kinds of places. Most places you're using to get supplies now, we have access to in the finance suite. You said that with the package, there's also marketing our business as well. We don't market your business, but what we're doing if you're enrolling as a partner, as you can see here, is we're giving you everything you need to market. So we're giving you emails, we're giving you ebooks, we're giving you flyers, we're giving you articles and press releases and all the resources that you really need to market, we're giving you. And they're all professionally done, and they're all designed where you could put your information to put them in your name. And then our weekly coaching webinar, which I do a special webinar only for our clients. I do that or for our partners, I do that every single day. Or excuse me, I don't wish I had the time to do that. I do that once a week, and you can see the quality of the guides and the resources and the things that you get. So we do special training every single week that I host. And of that training, we teach you every single thing you need to know about marketing as well. So you can see here that you're getting access to email content, articles, the guides to use as what's called lead magnets to get people to opt in. You can see we give you a whole basic funnel here, all the emails you need for a funnel. This document is 69 pages long. It has over a year's worth of email content. You can see here from do you have a Paydex score, explains what Paydex is, all this. So all of the marketing materials that you would basically need are done. You even have a website. It's at universityofbusinesscredit.com. And that website comes with your enrollment as well. You put up the website, or we get you to a website guy that can help you do that. This is all completely customizable, has results, credibility, has everything. This you get as a partner as well. And again, I can show you marketing flyers, all this type of things to give you an idea of the professionalism of this. So you can get an idea. These marketing flyers, the initial ones we had done, cost us literally $400 to get these initial ones done. But we pay to make sure that we have the highest quality for what our partners are actually using. And then we ended up using that to establish the baseline that we then built all of our flyers off of. And then we teach you everything you need to know. So when it comes to marketing, for example, if you're coming in and you want to market business credit and financing, then you simply come right here to advertising and marketing and partner basic training. And we teach you through videos every single thing you need to know to market. And then we even have a download here, which is my favorite download in the back office. And this download gives you all of our weekly coaching webinar on every kind of marketing you can think about. So top marketing strategy, networking events, hosting seminars, Facebook pay-per-click. These are all of our hour-long webinars that teach you how to do that. So what we do is we do it all, and then we teach you what works and what doesn't. So when we do a webinar on Facebook, we show you our Facebook ads. We show you the performance stats. We show you the audiences we choose. We show you the landing pages we use. We show you the guides we give away. We give you everything so you could duplicate what we already know works and actually succeed. So hopefully that answers that question. I have a lot of things set up for your program. Will you guys help me clean up the things I have? Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, Michael, most people come in with some of the stuff already done and it's all messed up. And the first thing we do is get everything lined up the right way before we can even move on to the next step. So please send me the replay. We will. If you tend through the end before the Q&A, you already got that. Thanks, Ty. Thanks a lot. No problem. Great stuff. Do I use my EIN to open the bank account? Yes, you do. Where do I go to find out my current EIN has credit? Again, you can do that directly with Dun & Bradstreet Equifax Experian. When I showed you that we helped you get set up in step 2 with the reporting agencies, that's where we do the free check. Now, if you go directly to Equifax's business website or Experian or Dun & Bradstreet's iUpdate, that's where you can get that information. And real estate investment, how can this help me? Well, if you're investing in real estate investors are the second most common industry we help. And the answer is if you have good credit or a good credit guarantor, we can use unsecured business credit cards up to $150,000. Those are actually the credit lines I talked about that you need good credit to get. A lot of our clients liquidate those cards. We help them and they use that to buy real estate. They also build business credit to get to cash credit, liquidate those cards and use the physical money to buy real estate. And then a lot of our clients are using Lowe's and Home Depot and Labor Ready to either get what they need to maintain the property, if it's a buy-in or if they're buying it and holding it, or they're using those things to actually do the fix and flip. So what we're doing is helping you get the financing and the credit to do the purchases and the credit you need to do the financing as well. Is it okay that I already use my home address? It is okay. It's just some sources like Walmart won't approve you, and you can expect an image of that to start showing on your business credit report. I would like someone to contact me regarding payment. No problem. I can't do that from here. So if you can help me, send a quick email, info@creditsuite.com. Just send it right now and say, hey, was on Ty's webinar, please contact me, and we will get in touch. I just don't have the ability where I am right now to even access your information to do that. So I need your help with that. And we're already doing that. Also, I have to start over if I already have an EIN and didn't know about this before. No, you don't have to start over. We'll help you with that. One of the common things we do is help people that already come in with mistakes fix those. How do you find no PG business credit card, income dependent? Well, no, it's not income dependent. They're not. These are all no doc. It's unsecured credit, no guarantee or no collateral, and they're all no doc. But again, how do you find no PG business credit cards? I just showed you how all of our clients have access and how you can actually get them. But again, How you find them on your own, that's kind of part of the delay of building business credit. You just have to do some research, and we went through a bunch of sources, hopefully that can help you as well. And Jerry, I'll try. I don't really have a lot of ability here to be able to get this phone number, but what I'm going to do is I think I took a picture so I can get that to my team. I just don't want to forget. So I'd like for you to email us as well, but I took a picture of your phone number to have our team call you as well. Hi, are there vendors available for real estate professionals such as real estate investors? Well, look, vendors work for anybody and everything. Like, for example, Quill is one of the best vendors that you can use. You could buy yard signs, you could buy marketing printing flyers, so you could buy computers, and you could buy all kinds of things that real estate professionals use. So there's a lot of vendors, whether it be shirts, whether it be your phone service that you set up, whether it be your website, SEO, marketing, any of that stuff is available through our vendors. Okay. Do I need to start a business in order to sell your program to business owners, or can I work with an affiliate? You can. Rhonda, just get in touch with us. We do have an affiliate program where you don't have to have a business set up, and it doesn't cost you any money to refer business to us. But I'll tell you, you make 3 times as much money on those referrals if you're a partner. So keep that in mind as well, because if you get our program, we can help you set up the business and all stages of that. But if you don't want to and you want to be an affiliate, just give us a call or send us an email. We can help with that as well. Hi, how does the resale process work? I currently do taxes and want to be able to add this as a service to my client. Sure, I'll tell you exactly how it works. How it works is that you just saw a program called where am I at here? Okay, so you just looked at our tour of the finance suite, the business finance suite. As a partner, you have access to one that looks like this. The one you sell your clients don't have partner resources and commission and sales reps, because all that's for you as a partner, right? Add clients, they don't have that. They have they have marketplace, they have build my business credit, they have business profile, business valuation, finance my business. You put your logo here. So you can do it white label, put your logo, you sell this as your product and or service. Okay, you make this determination of how much you sell the finance suite for. We sell the finance suite, as you know, through our core program for $3,000. Most of our partners sell the finance suite for $2,500 to $3,500. As a partner, your wholesale cost you pay to us is $500 to $700, depending on how many you're buying. If you're buying one at a time, it's $700. If you're buying them in bulk, then it's $500. It can get down to $500 per suite. So you're building them, and then you're being charged $500 to $700. You turn around and sell for $2,500 to $3,500, and you're averaging $2,200 on average is what our partners make per front end sale. And then we have an executive program where then you can get paid on funding your clients get. We just split it for you 50-50. So we cut a $10,000 check to one of our partners the other day because he referred a loan. We got it closed. The loan paid $20,000. We split it. He made 10. We made 10. That's not always the case. If you have a small loan amount, you make $500 on a loan, or $200. You might make $2,000, $3,000. Depends on the loan type and a lot of other factors. But you make money on the back end as well. And then we also have something called our Premier Partner. And our Premier Partner is simple. We give you the ability just to refer a customer to us, and we do all the selling for you. So you don't have to learn to sell and present and close, which, by the way, we teach you here in partner training. Okay, but we do all the selling for you. And instead of making, $2,200 per sale, you make about $750 to $1,200 per sale. But none of the work is on you. You just refer them to us, and we do all the work. And you still get access to the resource library, all the training you need to present this properly to your customers, all the marketing resources, etc. So you have options. You close the sale on your own and make more, or you just simply have our team do all the work for you, and then you get paid there as well. So hopefully that answers your question about how the partner program actually works. I'm already a paid client. No, actually, that was you've left. How long does it take to receive your DUNS number? It depends. If you do it the right way, you should have it in less than 30 days. That's how long it typically takes. And sometimes they're running to Stag where we'll help you with, or if you're doing it on your own, just know that we've seen clients go 6 months and you have to just keep calling D&B to get it fixed if you're trying to do it on your own. But on average, it takes less than 30 days. Is there a charge for getting us financing? No, we never charge you a dime to get you financing, but yeah, there's a charge from the lender. The money's not free just because you go through us, but we never charge you a dime. And what we do is we get you a discount with the lender because we do so much volume, as you can imagine, right? We fund like tens of millions of dollars in business funding deals. So the lenders all give us wholesale broker discounts, and then we just give you that pricing. So you get a discount because what we're doing is sending a volume of deals through that lender, and we never charge you any money to do that as a funding fee. We don't roll it in. We don't charge you after the fact. We don't charge you app fees. We do not charge you money to get funding, period. It does not happen. And we also don't work with lenders that charge you upfront fees either. Is getting funding the same as getting the business sponsored? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking there. You're going to probably have to ask that question again. Why aren't CPNs good? A CPN is by definition called a credit privacy number. A credit privacy number is designed for people that need extreme privacy, such as people that are in witness protection. And the problem with the CPN number is that if you look at credit applications don't ask you for an SSN or CPN. They ask you for an SSN, and it is against the law. It's two, and I'm not an attorney and not legal advice, but you violate two federal laws when you put anything other than your social security number in a social security field. So what's happening is you're misrepresenting your social security number. So you can get a CPN legally, you can have one, but the question is, what are you going to use it for? You can never use it to apply for credit or financing because you can never put that number in place of your social. It's against the law. You're misrepresenting the social security number. So then you're committing two felonies. That's the problem. The other problem is if you do research, the Federal Trade Commission, there's many branches of the U.S. government that talk about the same thing. Many CPN numbers are actually stolen social security numbers of deceased people or children. And if you do buy one that happens to be one of those, which most of them are, then you're committing identity theft as well. So look, you can do it. It's just, prison. That's what you're really up against. And again, if you want more information on that, go to our YouTube channel, type in CPN, and you'll find a webinar that we've done where we give quotes from the bureaus, we give quotes from the Federal Trade Commission, we give quotes from the FBI, so you can see what all those people really think about that. Incorporated my business in June and have not used any credit. Do I have to repair some things to get credit now? It depends. If they know you exist, they've already given you a failing credit report and score. We need to check that. So I would do that free check we talked about, or that's the first thing that our team would do as well. Is it advisable to put freeze on our personal credit so when they verify identification, they cannot pull the credit? No, I would not do that because you don't need that for business credit. If you're following the steps we talked about, they're not going to pull that personal credit. Also, is it best to set up a corp versus LLC? Either one works, but I would set up a corporation. Thank you for your time and information. Kathy, thank you. I appreciate that. Do you offer the ability to only use the list of vendors and their requirements opposed to the full package? I've set up the majority of everything else the credible way, but I haven't begun applying for business credit. We don't. And the reason for that is because it changes all the time. We still have people that get angry because they watch a 6-month-old video and the vendor data has changed. We have to update some of that stuff daily. So published lists don't work because it's the same as I see people in our Facebook group all the time that publish lists of vendors. And then I have to comment and go, hey, look, I saw 12 of the ones on your list that don't even report anymore. So the problem is that information changes so regularly. This is why we have to have a whole data team to be able to get that. The other thing, Alexis, that you need to know is that you have not even begun the process yet. The hardest stuff that you're going to experience happens after the vendor step. So that's when things really get challenging. A lot of businesses come to us with step one stuff done because they're very well established, but you still want to go through and make sure that that stuff is done right. So we don't publish that list. The majority of the work, about 95% of the work, is still ahead of you after the credibility step, just so you know that. Hey, Ty, JC, what's up, man? Fundingforflipping.com. I know you somehow. Yeah, you're a reseller. That's awesome, man. We're testing some Facebook ads to sell the program. Are you or any of your resellers having success? Oh, yeah, we do a lot of paid Facebook. JC, you should go into partner resources here in the back office. Go into the webinar. Well, do what I just showed you. Go to partner resources. Go to partner basic training step 7.3. Get that guide and access our webinars on Facebook. And then also you could just come in right here to the search and partner resource. Actually, go into weekly coaching webinars. And then if you go into weekly coaching webinars here and you type in right here and you type in Facebook, then this will also show you the webinars that we've done on this topic. And so then you can come in and know everything you need to know about Facebook ads. We show you our landing pages. We show you the ads. We show you the audiences. We show you everything you need to know to succeed with Facebook. Don't spend a dime on Facebook till you see this, because this will save you a ton of money based on what actually works. And don't forget, your partner success team's available too, JC. Just come to contact us, partner success team, and access their information. And then that way they can actually help you through that process, just so you know. What about a salon? Yep, those are not high risk in that app. This absolutely will work for salon and anybody in the beauty industry. As a matter of fact, man, we helped the guy get with hair weaves get like $400,000 in funding. I cannot believe that companies that sell hair weaves make as much money as this man made, but his company's made a ton of money. So there's a lot of money in your sector. Can I do two businesses? Yep, same program. Nope, I would not buy it twice. Almost all of our successful clients are coming in and using the same program to do multiple businesses. You can only enter one business information at a time, but you can follow the same steps for multiple businesses. I saw real estate as an industry is restricted. That is my industry. It's difficult to overcome. No, it's not. Okay, I would not start another LLC. It's harder for you to get access to loans, yes. But business credit, you're still going to be okay. It's more difficult if real estate's in your name, but that's not going to be a disqualifier. I'm a real estate investor. Will that help my business loans and my business to purchase invest properties? Absolutely. As we mentioned, we have a lot of financing, include unsecured business financing for 150 grand that our clients use for that. We also have a credit line that I love where you can get up to 100 grand without even having a credit check. That doesn't have any industry restrictions. We have that credit line. We got 100 grand with them, and we are their biggest loan affiliate, whatever you call them. So we've got a bunch of different options. And Steve, I talked about some others already as well. I'm a pastor of a church that want to get into the trucking business. That's a change. We already have a corp, $120,000 mortgage with a PG, $5,000 credit limit on MasterCard without a PG. So obviously we have an EIN, we have a DUNS number. Therefore, a lot of the basic services you offer, we already have, including business checking and savings account. We're a 10-year-old company. Will this reduce the fee? Give us a call. We'll talk about it. But the answer to your question is, how many accounts do you have in your business credit reports? Like I said, the credibility stuff, guys, that's the foundation. That's the basic stuff you have to do before you start building the business credit. So what you're saying is you haven't even started the business credit building process. You've just laid the foundation. The problem is that we still have to turn around and we still have to come in and make sure that all of your stuff is set up the right way so you don't get denied. But depending on how much business credit you've got established, it could make a difference. So make sure you get in touch with us. Give us a call, send us an email. Let us look at your individual scenario and answer that question. Is there any cost to market your program? There's not. I mean, look, if you're a partner, it's much easier, and you enroll as a partner because we give you all the marketing resources, the flyers, the email content, all the stuff you need. But if you want to come in as an affiliate, give us a call or email. We'll talk to you about our affiliate program as well. Is this like a new business for tax purposes? It depends. We have a lot of people that use our partner business as their primary business. We have a lot of them that just add it as a secondary service and they never form another business. So you could form another business to sell business credit financing or just roll it into your existing business. Greg, what's up? Can you be approved for no PG Sam's Club Business MasterCard with 5,000 high limit? You can. Sam's Club currently is approving those for up to about 7,000. They like 7. So we're seeing a lot of approvals for 7,000 on the MasterCard, not the Sam's Club card, the actual MasterCard. We're starting to see those approvals start with about 7,000. Time and need your help. Give us a call. Give me an email. Give us a call. Let us see what we can do to help you. Blossom. And Blossom, that's such a crazily cool name. I love that. What if I started with another company but the process is slow? Give us a call. Let us see what we can do to help. Look, this is the problem. And more, there's not very many companies that build business credit, guys. There's only a couple out there that I know of them. And I'll tell you, TrueBuild is one. And Marco Carbajo, I like Marco, man. He's a blogger, really cool guy. The problem is Marco is using our old software that we did that in 2000 was when our COO wrote the content for that. The content really hasn't been changed. It's not mobile friendly, ton of issues, no advising support. The other company says they're going to build it for you, but you're describing the problem with them. And if you look at all the complaints online, the problem is it'll take you 6 months to get 2 vendors, 3 vendors. Our clients are finishing the cash process at that point. So give us a call. Let us see what we can do to help bring you over, Daryl, from the dark side to the good side. Bring you over and show you the force. So yeah, I'm just messing around, but give us a call. Let us see what we can do to help you. Can this program help me refinance out of a conventional loan in my name into a business loan under my name? It depends on how much. We've got programs, including SBA, that we use for the purpose of refi. But give us a call. Don't enroll before, if that's what your primary goal is, don't enroll to figure that out. Give us a call or send us an email. Let me get my finance team on the phone with you to figure that out. Through all the training, am I certified? Yeah, we do give a certification when you finish the business credit part of it. So you do become certified as a business credit expert. Blossom, there's that name again I would love to refer your business to everyone that I know. I would love for you to do exactly the same thing. So again, give us a call, send us an email. We'll talk to you about our affiliate program, as well as our partner program where you can make more money. So we've got a couple options there. Blossom, I don't think I skipped over your question. I just don't think I got to it yet. Is the information showing what the criteria to get approved for credit with vendors available through the vendor? Is that public? It's not public information. None of it is. So the underwriting guidelines that we show you for all the sources, including vendors, is not published information. That's the whole point, is that credit insurers are never going to publish their actual information of what it takes to get approved. Okay, so what we're basically doing here is we formulate relationships with underwriters for every single one of these sources. And then what we do is we communicate with the underwriters on a regular basis to know that information. So if I come to 7-Eleven here, for example, all of these details, well, this is a bad one because there's not very much, but any of this information that we get, including how many accounts you need reporting, all this, then what happens is we deal with the underwriters to get all this and to get the underwriting requirements and who they report to. It's a 6-month process to verify. It's so elaborate, it's insane. But that's how we make sure the information is initially accurate, and then we keep up with any ongoing changes, because this is worth its weight in gold, the information you need to actually get approved. That's what helps you succeed and expedite the time frame versus not having it. Jail time. Shelley's, look, I don't mean to exaggerate with CPNs, but do your own research. If you misrepresent your social security number, it's fraud, and then you have 2 problems. So I'm not messing around. Like, do your research on that. You'll find that misrepresenting a social security number is a bad thing to try to do. You mentioned Uline, Quill, Granger, Supply Works. Who else should we apply for? We went through, and again, Uline, Quill, Granger, Gimplers is another. We talked about Wells Fargo Secured Card. There's a handful of them. But as you saw, if you're a client of ours, if you're struggling to get the vendors, you're gonna completely struggle when you get to the next step. The next step is the hardest. The vendor's one of the easier steps. So keep that in mind. And also keep in mind, if you're working with us, you have access to a lot of exclusive vendors that you're just not going to hear about or know about if you're not. Those are the ones you get SEO and website services and marketing services and printing services and phones and t-shirts. But I gave you the handful that you're asking for. Can we please have the entire presentation plus Q&A? You will. All this is recorded, Corey, and then what will happen is this has to render and do all the stuff it does, and it should be ready to come to you probably tomorrow afternoon. Do you have information about how to set up a corporation? We do. As part of our finance suite, that's all set up. We help you through every aspect of that. If you're looking for the free information, go to our YouTube channel, Credit Suite, or youtube.com/Credit Suite. We just did a webinar on how to start a business, and we've got several of them there that'll walk you through that process as well. Who can assist me? Blossom, we talked about that. I'm a truck driver. Yeah, I mean, look, you saw Christine's results. Christine's got $1 million now, and she's a truck driver as well. So we can help you through that process. And so far, Blossom, I've answered every question that you put in there. I think I just got to them a little bit later because I have a lot of questions going on. Since you're getting several business cards, is there a way to organize business credit so to protect your business? I'm not exactly sure what that question means, Jonathan. You're going to have to expand on that, because business credit, the purpose of business credit is to separate you from the business, which separates the credibility or separates the liability. But I'm not sure what you're asking. You have to ask that so I understand. Can you talk more about how 95% of the work starts after the credibility tier? Sure. When you're building business credit, remember the foundation is step 1 here. The very foundation of building business credit is the credibility. Now, let me say that could probably be reversed whether you're a client or not. If you're not a client, then most of the work happens after credibility, because I already told you how to set up the credibility. No, you won't run into barriers there. The problem starts here. You know, the problem starts when you start getting your business credit reports. Then you find out that nothing's on there. Then you got to fix that. Information's inaccurate. The process to go through to fix items with the actual bureaus, finding access to vendors that you could really use. Remember, when you're coming into building business credit, you know, if you need to get 5 to 8 of these kind of accounts, well, there's not even really reliable data to find 8 of them out there. So you got to find the right vendors to apply for. These vendors have certain amounts of money that you need to spend with them in some cases. If you don't know that information, you may have to come in, be able to get credit only to realize that then you had to spend $100 when you didn't know it and lost 2 months worth of time. Then you've got to go through and figure out how to activate the credit profile with the bureaus. But this is where all the time is. The time is here because if you don't know the underwriting guidelines for every source you're applying for, the only thing you're doing is trial and error. You're spending 2 to 5 minutes to fill out an application. Then you fill out the application and get denied. You don't know why. And so that's where all the problem just becomes trial and error, trial and error. Now, if you're a client, well, then 95% of the work is probably right in the beginning, because this is simple because you just know the order to apply. You know the sources that will approve you. We put them in order. We tell you how many accounts you need to get each one. We tell you the underwriting guidelines. We highlight and color the ones you can get. So this is where the majority of work comes in. Everybody goes, man, whew, I'm tired. I built my credibility. I want a discount. Well, the problem is you just set up the business the right way. That's all you did in step 1. The rest of it, you haven't even started the real process of building business credit. You just laid the foundation. That's exactly why I say that, because that's the majority of the process. Oh, awesome. I love you too. That's awesome. Thank you. Ty, I meant if 5,000 limit is reporting on credit report. Remember, Greg, the credit limit isn't reporting on the credit report. Only the recent amount of credit you've used is reporting on the credit report. So that wouldn't be reported anywhere that you would see it, but they are issuing the approvals, and they do report that to the business credit reports, and the bureaus, or the credit issuer and lenders know that. I hope that answers your question. Can I become an affiliate? Sure, absolutely. Email us, info@creditsuite.com, or call us, 877-600-2487, and we'll help you get set up. Is that high enough for approval? It's not high enough. Okay, I think I understand, Greg. After like 5 comments, I think I understand your question. You cannot get cash credit unless you have 1 credit account with a $10,000 limit. 5,000 is not high enough. You need 1 for 10. So hopefully that will help you. Blossom, can I still get a discount that you offered today? I enrolled last month and have not been 6. Yeah, absolutely. Just let us know. Just get in touch with us and we'll make sure that you get that discount because you hung with us for the 90 minutes. Do we work with an attorney also in the program? We don't, because we don't have a need for an attorney. We can refer you to attorneys for whatever reason you may need. We work with a lot of attorneys, but our clients just don't need attorneys as part of the process. But if you need referred to one, we have a ton of them that we have. I have a business registered since 07. Oh, congrats. That's awesome, Crystal. But want to change from an LLC to a corp when applying for credit. Will they go off my original file date? Yeah, they will. You could change your entity. Just do that with your accountant. Your original file date is going to be good. How do we use Fundbox Pay to enroll in Credit Suite? Give us a call or send us an email. We have a special relationship with Fundbox Pay to actually get you the approval if you don't have one already, and then use it. And we can send you an invoice. We have a whole program with them. Did the same rule apply for business credit as it does for personal credit utilization? It does not. Business credit is based only on how you pay your bills. Consumer credit scores are made up of 5 components, including payment history, utilization, credit mix, including length of credit history, and the credit utilization. Business credit scores are based on payment history. So utilization doesn't really impact them. Your experience somewhat, but not your Equifax and D&B, nor do inquiries. They show on your report, but it don't affect your score, just so you know. Greg, finally got that question answered. So I'm going to wrap this up. Look, I know you're going to have more questions, but again, we've sat here for about 45 minutes and answered a lot of the questions that have come in. So I'm probably going to hit a few more and then wrap up, because I want to make sure that your questions are answered. But give us a call, send us an email. Guys, we will help answer all your questions. I do not expect that you sat with me for an hour and a half and are forking out thousands of dollars as a result. My expectation is that a next step is that you talk to our team to ask individual questions to see if this is a good fit for you. You got the generalities, but there's a different fit between a real estate investor and a trucker. Now, we work with both. Those are 2 of the top industries that we work with, of our top 5. But that's a different conversation information for each because you're going to need different things from the program for each. So give us a call, send us an email. Remember, don't ever not get in touch with us because of money. Look, we are coming to a point where you really want to be focused, especially about the year to come, right? And the year to come, if you want to hit your goals in this year, the remainder of the year and next, then what you're going to want to do is you're really going to want to be in a position where you have access to as much capital as possible. That's what we do. We help you become more fundable, right? We help build your business credit. We help you get loans and credit lines. We are all about getting you capital in one place. So if that's on your radar, let us help you do it. It's cheaper to work with us and do it on your own. We save you, you're spending $2,500 to enroll with our core program. The first year we save you $2,200 in credit monitoring alone. Would you rather pay $24 or $200? You don't have to pay D&B. You don't have to pay for 411 listing. All of that stuff's free, so it's cheaper, and we help you cut 18 months plus off this process with no guesswork. It's not a matter of condensing it from 2 years to 6 months. The reality is you're not going to spend 2 years because you give up. Most people give up because they keep hitting a brick wall. Don't hit the brick wall. I can only teach you so much. I can't come and teach you the underwriting guidelines for every single source, because if I did, it changes tomorrow and it's all wrong before it even matters to you. This is why our system, we update in real time as the information changes to streamline and expedite the process. So again, how fast can saving you that 18 months of time, how much can that mean to growing your business faster if you can access the capital sooner? You can get business credit when you can't get financing. And if you can get the financing, then we work with every legitimate type of financing to help you access the most money at the best terms. So it's a win-win. And again, even if you don't get started with us, hopefully you got a lot of free payment we can have on our website if it's a better fit. So the bottom line is, does this make sense to you? Do you like our credibility? Do you like our technology? Do you like the fact that you have people that help you through this process on financing and business credit? Does everything I'm saying today make sense? If the answer to these things are yes, well then go ahead and enroll. I see several people, well, more than several, have already enrolled at creditsuite.com/. Webinar, whatever it may be, and then you're getting a discount access the most capital for your business. So I'd love to work with you. If we're not working together, that's okay too. Then I have a lot of free information I'm going to continue to pour out there to help you at least be positioned to access capital and to build business credit the best you can on your own. I will try to arm you to put out because it changes so frequently. And that's the stuff that knowing it versus not knowing it is what goes from taking years to being able to get this in months. And that's why I do what I do, because once I realized all the capital I could access, I didn't know about how to get access. The samples, for example, they had one issue that was wrong on their address. We fixed it and they turned around and got a bank loan. Can you imagine getting denied for a bank loan? Like I said, our other client, $350,000 bank loan because of one item on his business credit report, and you fix it, $350,000. That's what's on the tail end. When you understand what's behind the scenes with these lenders and credit issuers, as we do, then it's easier to help you through the path, knowing that information to actually come in and succeed with business credit financing. So I'm going to answer maybe a handful of more questions, and then we will wrap up. Blossom, I explained to you about, okay, so Blossom, just give us a call, and we will make sure that you're taken care of, okay? Dan, can you talk briefly about vehicular financer, and should we tilt our work to create non-PG credit? No. Oh, look, auto vehicle financing is auto vehicle financing. There's a few different places that offer it, including Ally as a credit union. Or Ally Bank, excuse me. You think I should know that. I literally have had 2 loans with Ally, and including multiple others. So you get auto vehicle financing. Once you get about 14 accounts and you're able to walk into these dealerships and be able to get that credit without the personal guarantee and without the credit check, you just have to be working with the finance institutions that will do that. We help you get pre-approved with them so you can walk in there and not even have to deal with the dealership's financing department, or at least go into the dealership's commercial financing department with everything you need to get that financing without the personal guarantee or credit check. There's nothing you need to do to make that happen. If you follow the natural steps, that's going to happen for you as well. Think done with Ford, with GM, with Ally, with multiple sources. So I'm going to wrap this up. If you have any questions, please give us a call, 877-600-2. 487. That's 877-600-2487. That's what we obsess about every day, is how to get our clients the most money, how to build business credit to get the best terms, how to graduate them from one loan to another to SBA loans so they're not paying these outrageous merchant cash advance fees, that all these your goals. Then give us a call. Let us see what we can do to help. 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. And any other questions I haven't had a chance to answer here, we will get answered. Thanks everybody for taking the time with me. I look forward to working with you all and helping you become more fundable, build your business credit, and getting access to loans and credit lines. Thanks everybody. Have a great night.